A brother and sister have been indicted for planting a bomb outside of Central Command. Apparently, they fled to China. One may have been arrested. Another individual is at large. This story is crazy. I'm surprised it's not the headline news everywhere because many people are saying very likely Chinese spies attacking the United States for some reason. We also have another story from a couple weeks ago that didn't get picked up. Unauthorized drones flying over a U.S. Air Force base. This is getting kind of weird. So we'll talk about that, but we've got a bunch of massive news. While Donald Trump is saying Iran is basically cooked and we're winding things down, we're also getting reports that we are just flattening more military sites in Iran. Things are getting absolutely crazy down there. And there is this great thread that outlines Donald Trump's plan for global domination. Sounds crazy, but I think it's pretty much spot on. We've talked quite a bit about Donald Trump's foreign policy plans. And based on this breakdown, it looks like Iran is the last piece of the puzzle for Donald Trump. And if his strategy plays out here, the U.S. will be the unipolar global power, the hegemonic power, making America great again, I guess in that way. And we got another crazy story. Candace Owens went after Nick Shirley, which has a lot of people scratching their heads. Of course, Nick Shirley has been doing amazing work exposing fraud in Democrat cities and states. Candace Owens came out claiming that he was fake news and that he was fabricating stories. We'll get into the details on that because it is weird. And I actually have, the story that was in question was about Brazil. I have firsthand experience there and I can corroborate Nick Shirley's reporting. This is a weird story. But we'll talk about that and a whole lot more. Before we do, we got a great sponsor for you, my friends. It is True Gold Republic. Go to truegoldrepublic.com/Tim. Having sound money and financial independence is important. Hard assets are extremely important. That's why you should check out True Gold Republic. Look at the world right now. Active wars, NATO under pressure, the dollar being weaponized, $36 trillion in debt. We've printed so much money since 2020 that your savings are worth less every year by design. Gold can't be printed. It can't be sanctioned, can't be devalued by a press release. Central banks are buying it at record levels right now. The people who run the system are hoarding the one thing they cannot print. That says everything. Insert True Gold Republic, real physical gold and silver, not paper, not ETFs, metal you can hold. Check out their Independence Bundle, a physical gold starter kit, a one-on-one with their experts, and bonus precious metals on top. The chaos is not coming, my friends. It's here, and we're about to talk about it. So go to truegoldrepublic.com/Tim to claim your Independence Bundle or call 1-800-628-GOLD. Shout out to True Gold Republic. Don't forget to also smash that like button. Share the show with everyone you know. Joining us tonight to talk about this and so much more, we've got Stella Escobedo.
Hi, Tim. Good to see you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Who are you? What do you do?
I'm great. Yeah.
What do you do?
What do I do? So I'm just a girl living in this, living the American dream. No, really.
It's a random person. We saw you. We were like, she looks good. Bring her on.
He saw me on the street. No, I came to this country as a refugee. And so I'm living the American dream. I've been a journalist. I spent almost 20 years in mainstream media.
Gotta go back.
And what did you say?
He said, gotta go back.
I gotta
go back.
Why am I going back?
I'm
not going back. This is my country. And now I'm just doing my own thing, independent media, where it's at.
Right on.
Following in your footsteps. I appreciate what you've been doing, really.
I appreciate it. It should be fun. Of course, we got Carter, Ian, and Phil hanging out today.
What's up, homie?
Let's jump into the news. We've got this from Fox 13. Brother and sister charged after an explosive device was found outside MacDill Air Force Base. Of course, this is the home of Central Command. They say, according to the FBI, Alan Zhang, 20, faces multiple federal charges, including attempting to damage government property unlawfully, making a destructive device, and possessing an unregistered destructive device. His sister, Anne Mary Zhang, 27, was booked on charges of witness tampering and acting as an accessory after the fact. Quote, they say this. The U.S. Attorney's Office of the Middle District of Florida said the investigation began on March 10th when a 911 call warned of a bomb near the base's visitor center. At the time, no device had been located. It was very short and very cryptic, but he said that a bomb had been placed on MacDill Air Force Base. Quote, you have something in a secluded location and hidden in the visitor center, and it just took a little bit more time to get there. If you're going to examine our more sensitive assets on the MacDill Air Force Base, not that the visitor center isn't an important asset, but obviously Central Command is there. 6 days later, they say an Air Force service member discovered a hidden explosive device near the visitor center. Investigators later determined it was an improvised explosive device capable of causing serious harm or death. Interesting. Quote, why it didn't detonate at the time is a question we'd like to ask Mr. Zhang. Our last notification is that he is in the People's Republic of China as we speak.
Wow.
According to federal prosecutors, Alan Zhang purchased the phone used to make the threat at a Best Buy, and surveillance video captured him making the purchase and using a vehicle later tied to the case. This is nuts. I mean, this is absolutely crazy. We've got this from the DOJ's website. We also have another story from Fox News. Unauthorized drones detected over U.S. Air Force Base housing nuclear-capable B-52 bombers. This is Barksdale AFB in Louisiana. I believe we've got this great thread that I want to run through with you guys in a second. We'll do it after this. But I do believe that Iran is the final piece of Trump's foreign policy maneuver as it pertains to natural gas and oil. And if Trump succeeds here, then I will put it this way. We don't win instantly, right? Succeeding in Iran doesn't mean the game is over, checkmate, we won. Right. It puts us at such an advantage that our adversaries, China, Russia, etc., will have no choice but slowly start bending to the will of the U.S. hegemonic authority.
Look, this is something that I actually think that if the U.S. is going to use hard power, this is what it should be for. Right?
Control the energy, control the system.
Well, it should be doing things that are pro-America long term, right? So there's been so many times that the U.S. has used military force to do things for other countries or do things that weren't in the U.S.'s best interest or weren't America first, essentially.
Right. Yeah.
And even if you're an anti-war person, if you accept the narrative that's here, this is unquestionably America first.
Of course, and President Trump has talked. They're trying to make it seem, that President Trump, why does he need to go into Iran? He's always talked about that Iran has been a threat for all these years. So there was a White House press briefing today, pretty much with Marco Rubio talking about it. What was it? Since 1979, they've been a threat. And when they chant death to America, they're not just using words. If they could launch a nuclear weapon into the United States, they would have done it yesterday. Yeah. And Donald Trump has been talking about it for years. He hasn't changed his mind. And this is America first. And I think you have this different camp of America only and America first. You cannot be without allies. Yeah. You can't isolate yourself completely.
I think the sad reality is I would argue that our generation, the millennials, have what Ian referred to as PIST, post-intervention stress disorder, from the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. I called it post-intervention stress disorder, and then Ian pointed out it was PIST.
Was it called anagram? I don't know. I put the letters together.
Acronym?
Acronym, yeah. Yeah, I did the
and so my point is that we are very skeptical on these interventions because they did not work in the past. That being said, there are two extreme camps here. Certainly there are varying opinions somewhat in the middle. But you have people who are saying no intervention ever, no war. We should be isolationist. I'm not saying everybody who's anti-war is isolationist. Certainly you're allowed to be critical of these interventions in wars. I respect that. But you have these dominant voices that are isolationist or that we should share power. I'm not interested in sharing power.
Yep.
I have no problem with soft power and leveraging our wealth and resources. But if the choices I had was the U.S. is going to bow down, drop the curtain, and we are now second class to China.
Nope.
Hell no.
Nope. Not happening.
So I'm not saying our only option is war with Iran. I'm not saying that. But it does appear, based on the moves Trump has made, he really is thinking about making America great again. And that does include forcing everybody onto the petrodollar system, which admittedly, I did not think was going to be a big component of his play early on. Certainly, I thought he'd focus more on boosting our manufacturing and our population. But I think Trump learned an important lesson.
Yeah.
And that is, one of the working theories is that the uniparty, the deep state, was intentionally ceding power to China to avoid World War III, to avoid what's called Thucydides' trap. Right. I think Trump gets in the first term and says, no, we're going to get our jobs back. We're going to build our borders up. We're going to secure our borders. We're going to, bolster the American family. And then he realized that our economy is propped up on the petrodollar.
100%.
And so before you do this, you have to secure that.
Yes.
And the uniparty says, no, we're giving that up. And Trump's like, no. And so now war.
And another thing, the amount of debt that the U.S. is in, right? Like, we owe so much money. And the only way to guarantee that we don't have a significant default in the next 5 years is to make sure that there's a demand for dollars. And the way to make sure that there's a demand for dollars is to make sure that the petrodollar is the currency that basically runs the world. Well, so this is more than just about Iran or even more than just about China. Right. This is about making sure that we don't default on our debt.
Right. And also, I live in California, and the gas prices, I mean, in general, are high. Right now, we're almost up to $7. And I tell people, like, this is temporary. And by the way, we have a lot of taxes. Okay, we should not be paying $7. Okay, at the highest, we should be paying $3 a gallon. Eventually, it's going to come down. I want to talk about China. You were talking about what happened at that base.
Yeah.
I think we've been infiltrated. Of
course.
We've been infiltrated on so many different levels. And I was reporting, on the news that China's been buying up land in the United States near military bases.
Yep.
And we were talking behind the scenes. You're like, why isn't this on the news? Why isn't this mainstream media? That does not surprise me. They don't talk about these big stories, but we've been infiltrated on many different levels here.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you have to wonder why they would plant these bombs. What is the goal? Who benefits? Why do it? And there's a couple different trains of thought. Of course, always false flags come to mind, but I wonder if it's just that Trump is about to tip the scale in such a way that it will not be reversed. And so we are going to see desperate actions from infiltrators, from our adversaries and enemies.
If I understand correctly, there's a summit that Trump is meeting with Xi. I believe they've moved it to May.
He did. He put that out the other day. I think
so
yesterday. Yeah.
The whole situation in Iran, particularly if they can get the Strait of Hormuz under control and get the situation in Iran doesn't have to be won, but it has to be under control and not seem like it's spiraling out of control. Xi's going to come to the table with nothing.
Well, Trump has talked about how he wants to isolate China.
Yeah.
He's been saying this for a couple of years now, and this is exactly what he's doing.
If you remember when I think it was Anthony Blinken met with the Chinese delegation, I think it was in Alaska, they specifically said, you are not negotiating from a place of power. This is during the Biden administration. They specifically said, you are not negotiating from a place of power. Like, that is incredibly disrespectful. It is trying to basically push the U.S. around. And now when President Trump meets with Xi, it's going to be 180 degrees there. He's totally flipped the table, and Xi is going to be in a position where he's going to have to make deals with the U.S. that are favorable to the U.S., not to China.
And he's also taken on terrorism.
Yeah.
He wants to do deals with these Middle Eastern countries and be like, the old school thought, let's put that to rest.
Yeah.
Like this thought of like jihadism. And he's trying his best to say, let's do business. And you do have you have the UAE, you have the Saudis, and the Saudis are actually supporting Trump going after Iran.
MBS
Qatar, not so much, because then Qatar is left on an island with...
MBS has said, keep going after Iran.
Keep going, yep.
MBS is totally in the U.S. side.
It's incredible, though, that you have these Arab nations who are coming out and supporting President Trump. And today, President Trump said, NATO, where are you at?
Yep.
You guys weren't anywhere.
Well, NATO's a defensive pact, so an attack doesn't trigger it.
But it's not. No. No one's asking them to trigger a defensive pact. He's saying you're our European allies.
It's a defensive alliance.
That's not what. That's
Don't
immaterial.
Call defensive allies to an offensive war.
That has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
NATO is defensive.
That has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Sometimes you disband a defensive treaty.
And you fundamentally misunderstand the point being made.
You don't call in a
we are
defensive
not
pact for an attack.
Triggering Article 5 NATO.
Then what is we are asking where they're at? They're exactly where they were.
We are asking our allies to join us in the war. That has nothing to do with Article 5.
It's a defensive alliance.
That's called Article 5, Ian. You don't know what you're talking about.
NATO,
Is
there an offensive
Article
alliance
5 of NATO triggers when NATO is attacked.
Is there an offensive alliance with NATO?
Yes.
So if one of us goes to war and attacks, the others have to attack.
No.
Then there isn't one.
Are you understanding what's going on, Phil?
A military alliance with them. We have
are you understanding why
there's a difference?
There have been multiple times in history where NATO forces have engaged
Libya?
in offensive.
Yeah,
attacks.
that's fine, but they're not required to.
So no one said that.
Well,
Trump is asking our allies in NATO to join our effort like they did in Libya.
Right, and they didn't until I think now they've stepped up and said yes, but Trump's like, we're already good. He said, what did he say? He said today on Fox News, we're flying all over Iran, like owning the airspace. He's basically like, we've already won pretty much.
Yeah, there's nobody left. Everybody's flat.
Moshtaba, I gotta say, I think Moshtaba is dead.
I agree.
Dead man walking. They even asked him today on Fox News.
Is he gay?
Is he gay? He's like, that's what I was told.
I think Moshtaba is dead, and I think he died in the initial strikes.
100%.
But Iran can't come out and be like, there's no one left.
Because you know why? There'll be a civil war. Because right now there's like all this confusion going on as to like who's in charge. Oh, Moshtaba is
We don't want civil war in that country either.
No, I'll tell you something. Osama bin Laden was hiding in a tunnel or whatever underground before the internet was a big thing, and we got videos and audios of him. Where's Moshtaba? who's apparently like that. Like, think about that, you know?
I think he died, and that's why they haven't issued any statements. 100%. They said he's been flown to Moscow.
They said that he's been flown to Moscow now?
That was one of the reports because his leg got injured.
I don't know.
Did you see how CNN's been like covering it? I think they're like the only mainstream media outlet that's there.
Well, it's because CNN's about to get purchased by CBS, so they're reading the writing on the wall. Yep, CBS bought by the Ellisons. They bring in Barry Weiss and the Free Press. Now CBS is doing a hostile takeover of Warner Brothers, and CNN is going to get chopped off and put under the fold of CBS, which would be crazy. And so it's actually interesting that CNN is kind of moderating. I think they know. They're like, guys, if you go far left and then CBS buys you, you're fired.
Well, they're already like laying off a ton of people now. CNN.
Well, I'm surprised anybody still works there.
Yeah,
They're worthless.
I read, I don't know what to believe, but I read that Netanyahu was like, well, let's inspire the Iranian people to come out of their houses and revolt, like street.
Yeah, nobody did.
Now. And then Trump was like, why would we do that? They'll get mowed down. Like, we don't have any oversight.
Yeah, and I'm sure you know this. I mean, they were literally shooting people in their eyes. Like in
I don't know that. What happened?
During the protests, they started shooting people.
When 35,000 people were killed, they weren't just massacring people. They were literally shooting them in the eyes.
Like they would walk up to them and put it in the eyeball?
like they shoot you in your eyes, like die. Like take out your eyeball.
And they've executed several young people for protesting.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
It's really bad. And you know what they did? They turned off the internet so that we would know about it.
I do want to stress, too, to always be careful with this stuff because you never know how much of it is war propaganda. But I'll put it like this. You're always going to get these people who are anti-interventionists, some of them feigning that, but they're actually just pro-Iran or pro-Russia or whatever. I don't know that I believe 35,000.
You don't believe that number?
Well, I would say this. You know, someone asked me, like, do you actually believe Iran killed a bunch of their people? I'm like, definitely. Yeah. Because they've done it before, and we've seen videos of it. Yeah. Now, the number may be where they're flubbing things, but I don't think that the U.S. does a good job of trying to fabricate, like, 30,000 deaths. There's going to be actual deaths. Like with Assad, I've outright explained on the show that the reason we removed Assad was not because he was some evil dictator, but because he was barring Western forces from building a gas pipeline. That being said, Assad killed a bunch of his own people because they were rising up against him. I think the same thing is true for Iran. I'm just saying, I'm not going to believe everything that comes across my desk all the time. I will question that. Right. But we've seen this stuff from Iran years ago. And, you know, you can call it a grand psyop where Obama, Trump, and Biden all colluded together to put out fake news about Iran. I'm sorry. I think Donald Trump really does not like the Democrats, and I don't think the Democrats like Donald Trump. I think the simpler solution is that Iran has killed a large number of their people because they started to rise up and they wanted to topple this regime. Why? Well, for one, they're Islamic fundamentalists. And not everybody is, but a lot of people are. Don't get me wrong.
It's not an Islamic country, just so people know that.
Right.
The Islamic regime, like when they took over in 1979, they changed the flag. If you notice the flag, they changed the national anthem. They're not Islamic people.
I think the simple reality is like with Cuba.
Yeah.
We saw protests in Cuba. Regular people are just telling their government, why aren't you just doing this trade deal? Why are you intentionally starting wars, getting into fights that's resulting in us having our lives made worse? If you're a regular person waking up and going to work, I don't care where you're from, you're not asking your government to start a war. This is true for the United States.
Right.
This is true for Iran. So you get these protests because people are basically saying, for one, there's fundamentalism and people don't like the religious police. But I do believe a lot of it is we could have a higher standard of living. We're a major oil producer. If we just said, America, we want to trade and we don't want war, they would live like kings in Iran.
Right.
And
they don't want that.
And the government wants their religious fundamentalism.
Exactly.
They want to fund Hezbollah and Hamas.
Yep.
They don't want, they do not want the stability. They want to use the leverage they have through violence to gain access. Exactly. And now you get this mass protest. What do? Well, I believe the first thing they tried doing was just controlling the protests. That didn't work. So then you resort to mass violence.
Yeah, they got the order.
But I'm going to say this. I just want to say one more thing.
Yeah.
The idea that we got involved in war in Iran because of that, absolutely not. If the U.S. actually intervened in countries when there were humanitarian crises, we'd be at war with like 30. Exactly.
Yeah. No, I
the
feel
continent
you
of
on
Africa.
that. Yeah.
We'd be in Africa forever.
Yeah. No, look.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, only 20% though of Iran, there's like 90 million people, are the Islamic fundamentalists. But they have every reason to fight back because fundamentally for, their jobs or just security, they're living large. All this money. And Obama, by the way, with the Iran nuclear deal, handed them over billions of dollars. Yep. And then we also have a huge Iran lobby in the United States.
I want to pull up this post. This is from 10 Delta on X. You may be saying, Tim, who is this guy? I don't know. What is this post about? Well, let me tell you. Donald Trump's plan for world domination, and it was put so succinctly.
Who is this?
I am impressed. This is just some guy on X.
I'm going to look at like
some guy on X, and he broke down. He's followed by Ed Krasenstein, so you know he's smart. He broke down Trump's plan. Yes, right. He broke down Trump's plan, and I'm going to give you the simple version before doing a quick skim through of this post, and I recommend you check this post out. Basically, what he's saying is that Donald Trump, over the past year, has made a series of moves internationally that has cut off Russian ability to produce gas, cut off China's ability to receive energy to produce AI, and moving into Venezuela, strengthened the U.S. to take out the Venezuelan regime, the Cuban regime, and now Iran. It's not a victory moment, but this is the last big piece of Trump's puzzle. After Iran, the U.S. will have gained such control over global energy, there will be zero possibility that China will ever be able to rise as a dominant unipolar power. Trump is restructuring the world order underneath the American flag. Let me read through this. I'm going to go pretty quickly, but it's a brilliant thread that breaks it down in great detail. He says, 3 weeks ago, I argued the U.S. goal in Iran is to seize the global oil spigot, neutralize every supply channel outside the dollar system within 90 days, achieve a compliant successor government, and complete energy dominance. The oil thesis was the obvious layer. However, when you zoom out and view the last 4 years as a single sequence rather than isolated geopolitical events, the architecture of the grander U.S. plan becomes visible. I want to stress, this extends to Trump's first term. I don't know what was going on through Biden's first term, but it may include elements of the U.S. government and the deep state at the same time. They say the Ukraine conflict provided the justification for sanctions that collapsed Russian pipeline gas from 150 billion cubic meters to 40. Nord Stream was destroyed. The U.S. went from supplying 28% of Europe's gas to 58% by 2025, exporting a record 111 million metric tons. Next is Syria. The fall of Assad severed the critical node connecting China's Belt and Road Initiative in the Mediterranean. The trilateral railway linking Iran, Iraq, and Syria, designed to bypass Western maritime choke points, was completely destroyed. Third was Venezuela. In January, the U.S. effectively took control of the world's largest heavy crude reserves. The U.S. Gulf Coast has the most advanced refining complex on Earth. The U.S. captured a massive strategic reserve and solidified its position as the dominant exporter. Venezuela and Iran were the two major oil supply channels that existed outside the dollar system. Fourth is Iran and the Middle East energy shock. Israel struck Iran's South Pars gas field, the world's largest natural gas reservoir. Iran retaliated by striking Qatar's Ras Laffan, the single largest LNG facility on Earth. Qatar Energy's own assessment is that 17% of export capacity is gone, and recovery will take 5 years. The Strait of Hormuz is closed. European gas prices spiked 70%. Asian spot prices doubled. The only remaining scaled supplier is the United States. If Iran falls and a successor government is installed, the U.S. controls or influences roughly 40 to 45 million barrels per day of the global 103 million. Out of 103 million, putting it effectively under U.S. control. OPEC becomes irrelevant. The war is solidifying the petrodollar system as it evolves into a hybrid petro-natural gas dollar. The market confirms this. Gold dropped around 20% from January. Bitcoin down 20%. Brent above 100. European and Asian institutions are liquidating metals and crypto to buy dollars because they need dollars to buy the only remaining scaled energy supply. The U.S. grand strategy goes deeper. AI is a physical industry. It runs on power. By choking the Strait of Hormuz and crippling Middle Eastern LNG and helium production, the U.S. is degrading China's ability to power its data centers. The U.S. is energy self-sufficient. On the other hand, China is import dependent, and every jewel it imports effectively now transits choke points the U.S. Navy controls. There's a lot more to this, but it breaks it down rather perfectly. The U.S. is seizing all control for AI development, natural gas, and resources. And based on this, and I agree, the shuttering of the Strait of Hormuz is an intentional play that benefits the United States system. The Gulf states struggling to export this product. Now people are going to rely on U.S. exports, and we control Venezuela. In this interim period, we have come to take center stage, the top point in the petrodollar system. Once everything resolves and Iran is in the Western fold, should Trump win, China and Russia will be under the boot of the U.S. hegemon.
Control the energy, control the system. Did you see General Michael Flynn posted? He goes, sounds like everything is going according to plan.
Yep.
And you know, Khomeini, he was supposed to go to Venezuela. They took Venezuela out.
And now Cuba is falling into Western influence. Venezuela into West. This is nuts. I mean, Trump is
Cuba's
toppling.
next too after this?
Who is?
Cuba.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Cuba's got no power left. There's no energy coming in.
That's right.
The
They're supposed
U.S.
to run
is
out of power.
right. So they're embargoed, and then Trump said we'll sanction anybody who tries to give them oil.
So-
and now there's no electricity.
Yeah.
There's one more thing that's worth noting that isn't mentioned here. There's this place in North Carolina called Spruce Pine. It's a tiny town in Blue Ridge, right? Population's like 2,000, and it's completely irreplaceable to the entire global semiconductor industry. It's the only place in the world that can get 99.999% pure silicone. Now, obviously, chips are made of silicone, and they provide all of the silicone that goes to TSMC, all the silicone that goes to Taiwan to make the most advanced chips. Now, we're building a bunch of chip manufacturers here. Obviously, they're not online yet. But if the U.S. controls that as well, that really does put
But
the U.S.
you forgot Ukraine too.
Yeah.
Oh, arable land for one thing. But part of this report I did skip over is that in Ukraine, Ukrainians are sabotaging Russian energy transport. So this is curtailing Russia's ability to. This is what we talked about. We've talked about how the Burisma scandal was because Russia was importing natural gas into Europe, controlling 20% of European gas. The U.S. wanted that to stop. A Ukrainian was indicted by Germany for bombing Nord Stream 2. This is Western power. Guys, I'm going to tell you this. Hook this hopium right up into your veins. If this plays out the way it appears on the grand stage, I think we're looking at like a 1950s, 60s economic boom. Like the baby boomers.
I'm here for it. And as I sit here, I look at that sign right there, and it says "Make America Great Again." And Trump has a plan.
The desperation of the necessity of an invention, like if the Chinese, technocrats find out, look, we can't compete with oil and methane anymore. Natural gas is methane. We need to pivot to fusion. We need to.
We have it. We have the fusion, bro. Haven't you been paying attention?
We are controlling the oil markets. I understand the oil and gas markets are under control, and that's a great energy market. It's a great fuel market, but it's not the only one.
We will never allow anyone to create an energy source outside of what we control.
Right, but you don't have control over allowance of all things.
The United States can blow up anybody they want.
I'm not denying that.
Right. That's my point. I'm not saying they should. I'm saying they have heart attack guns. They have discombobulators. They will, Ian, if you put together a fusion reactor and figured out a means of converting the fusion energy into electricity, they will discombobulate you.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even tell them not to. If a human goes rogue and tries to build a fusion
like,
reactor...
discombobulate me, bro.
Dude, it's a threat. If a dumb monkey gets a fusion reactor, it could blow us all up. I'm open to stopping that.
You know what I think they would do? If Ian ever really got close to discovering the secrets of graphene, they would dose you with such strong LSD, you'd go schizoid.
I got to work with the government if I'm going to go hard into tech. That's the only way at this point. But doesn't mean one.
Imagine this. Imagine you had a chicken in your chicken coop that figured out how to open the doors and was programming, was using a phone. Yeah. You'd be like, I'm eating that chicken.
I'm either hiring that chicken.
I mean, to be honest. To be honest, if your chicken was using a phone, you'd be like, I'm calling a scientist right now.
I'm giving that chicken a TV show, yeah.
But if you were the U.S. government, you're seizing that chicken and removing it, and you're studying it. And
there's a lot going on in the world that the U.S. government doesn't know about, and I don't know how much spy tech is good. What?
They know everything.
That's what they want.
They know
you
when
to
you
think,
poop,
and that's what they want.
They
to become
know
reality,
when you poop.
Spy tech, but then
Did you know that the government knows when you poop?
What is World War III just that
who told you that?
No. Really? This is actually a 10-year-old.
Where every single person is pooping.
You got a cell phone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're tracking me.
So So Facebook got this data a long time ago and has the algorithm. This story was super old. It was a story. It was like Business Insider or something. So Facebook has collected enough location data that they now have mapped 1 billion users, 1 billion human beings, daily patterns.
Okay.
So they now have a prediction for how long after a meal will a person use the bathroom. They know if a person goes to work, how long until they go to the bathroom. So the movement of your phone, they can predict where you're going to get lunch. They can predict where you will go to the bathroom. They can predict if you're going to get sick, if you're going to go home early. The famous story, of course, is that a man called, I think it was Target or something, complaining that they had sent his $16 maternity advertisements. 16-year-old daughter was getting maternity advertisements. And he said, how dare you send my teenage daughter maternity advertisements? She is a child.
Right.
And they said, sir, these are automated advertisements. When our system detects an individual is pregnant, it will automatically send these ads. So she had been searching things like feeling sick. and, restless or back pain. And the algorithm said, she's pregnant, send her the advertisements. And she was.
Insane.
Yep.
I didn't hear about that story. Okay.
That's like 10 years ago.
Yeah, well, then they've probably upped their game. They know exactly what we're doing.
Of course.
No wonder when you say something and then it pops up on your phone. I mean,
And
we already know that.
So people think
Like satellites.
Like
can listen to
anything,
you,
yeah.
or
They already know
people
what I'm thinking.
people think your microphone is on and it's listening to you, and those people are correct. Phones have voice activation. You've ever used yours?
Yes, like Siri.
Yeah. So when you can just talk to it, you can say,
Yeah. Hey Siri, whatever.
and it'll turn on, right?
Yep.
So that means the microphone has to be on all the time, so that if you say that phrase, it will activate your phone, right?
Right.
What translates your speech into text? A server over the internet. So what your devices do, they're listening to 24/7, sending everything you say to a server to transcribe your speech into text and send the text back to your phone. There was a very famous story where police subpoenaed, I think it was the Amazon device, because there was a murder and they wanted the audio. And they got the audio and they were like, how? And they were like, oh, it was recording for some reason. Because how else would it know you're activating it unless it was listening all the time?
So I don't know if they're able to get off that grid. If the China, I want to just finish talking about China in this instance. That they're gonna either be like, look, we can't compete with oil and gas. We need to go to a new fusion source, maybe a hydrogen fuel system or something. And then the other thing is the oil off the east coast of Vietnam, which I still believe the Vietnam War was about oil. They said we have to stop communism, but they wanted that territory so they could pump, which the Trans-Pacific Partnership was all about pumping Malaysian oil. Chinese might try and take that from the Japanese overseer, but we kind of got that unlocked, the physical lock in the Pacific too. Japan, we turned that in the 60s, in the 50s. But the other fuel sources, like, that's the one thing you can't really account for. And like, is Iran the final nail in the coffin? Well, they'll always tell you that it is, that the next step is the final step.
But no one's the administration isn't telling you this, right? So this isn't some kind of like press release from the Trump administration. This is a bunch of people looking at the global picture and saying, look, this is what makes sense to us. So it's not a situation where this is the narrative coming out of the administration saying this is why we're doing it, this is what the goal is, et cetera, et cetera. It's people looking at what the Trump administration has done and what it looks like they're doing in the future, and basically deducing what's going on.
It's like slaying the final villain in a movie, but that's just what people are kind of brainwashed to think like, because that's not how the world
It's not about slaying
Perception is reality, Ian.
Yeah, and it's not about slaying the final villain. It's about positioning the United States in a strong position globally. Right, like it's not about trying to.
It's really this simple. Do you want to be the capital, or do you want to be District 7?
I want to be the capital.
There you go. Let me play this clip. We've got the story from Fox News. Ladies and gentlemen, Iran is threatening World War III. But let's see what's going on with Operation Epic Fury. And I think the funniest thing about this, people are now wagering that Donald Trump will personally visit Iran before next year. I kid you not. Wait till you see this. But first, here's what's happening in Iran.
To Central Command and the intensifying situation in the Middle East. Operation Epic Fury presses on, with U.S. forces continuing to hammer key Iranian regime targets. President Trump posting this morning that Iran is, quote, begging to make a deal. Matt Finn is live in Dubai with more. Hi, Matt.
And Dana, taking a full look at that truth post, President Trump writes, the Iranian negotiators are very different and, quote, strange. They are begging us to make a deal, which they should be doing since they have been military obliterated with zero chance of a comeback. And yet they publicly state they are only looking at our proposal. Wrong. They better get serious soon before it is too late, because once that happens, there is no turning back and it won't be pretty. President Donald J. Trump. Now, here in Dubai, it's been a pretty active day. A lot of incoming fire. The UAE says 15 ballistic missiles, 11 drones fired at this country today. Our cell phones have been going off with the shelter-in-place alerts. We've heard some explosions in the sky. The UAE says 2 people died in Abu Dhabi, not far from here. The UAE writing, the UAE's air defenses are currently dealing with missile attacks and incoming drones from Iran. And the Ministry of Defense confirms that the sounds heard in various parts of the country are the result of air defense systems intercepting ballistic missiles and fighter jets intercepting drones and loitering munition. And our Trey Yates reports from Israel that the head of the IRGC's Navy was killed in an Israeli strike overnight.
So we've got that, and then we've got Epic Fury striking over 10,000 targets and the IRGC naval leadership eliminated. Iran is threatening 1 million soldiers are ready to fight the United States.
Okay.
And but here's where it gets good. Over on our Kalshi prediction market, there is a 12% chance that Donald Trump will visit Iran before 2027. But wait, people are actually wagering a 4% chance that before June. I'm sorry. That sounds like free money to me. I am not advising you to do anything. I'm just saying there is no way Donald Trump is personally going to Iran before June.
Not before June. But I have to tell you, the Islamic
next year.
Maybe next year, but the Islamic regime is a death cult, okay? Yep. Here's the other thing is they don't want a deal. They talk about like, oh, we're going to have a deal. We're going to make a deal. They don't want a deal. But the scary part is if they actually make a deal, because they always play the long game. Okay, these people have their mission is a caliphate, spread their caliphate. The scary part that people worry about is, will they agree to a deal and then just tear it up in 3 years?
Yeah, you know, a lot. I will ask for a ceasefire, and during the ceasefire, they'll build up their military, and then they'll attack you again when the ceasefire is. I'm
gonna tell you guys. You know what's really bothering me, and I know Phil's gonna chime in. He's gonna agree with me on this one. I am not a fan of military interventions regime. It's extremely expensive. It's bad. It's bad in the short term for our economy. We need to win if you want anything good for our economy. But for the love of all that is holy, the people that are effectively rooting for our defeat is the most infuriating thing imaginable.
What I'm concerned about the Iranian civilians, and at some point, like, I don't want to tell American government, stop, don't, because it's like, I don't really know what's going on, and maybe this could preserve the human race in a really, really beneficial way. But the civilians of Iran, man, that's the most important resource in the world, is that we preserve those people.
There's no military in the world that puts more effort into not killing civilians. And if you look at the videos coming out of Iran, people are still going about their day normally because the United States is not targeting the population.
Very
right?
precise.
Now that's
Very
not
precise.
this is not to say that there isn't going to be collateral damage.
Iran is intentionally striking civilians right now. I mean, think about it this way. Iran has attacked U.S. military targets in the region for decades. They have been arming the Houthi rebels as well as Hamas and Hezbollah. They have been literally killing civilians. The Houthis were bombing civilian cargo ships in the Red Sea. Mm-hmm. And the U.S., and don't get me started on Venezuela, they steal our oil assets. And the U.S. is just like, now, slow down there. And they have been reserved the whole time. Donald Trump finally says, okay, fine. Israel says we're moving in, puts pressure on the United States to make a move now. I don't respect that, but it is what happened. And the U.S. says, we have legitimate grievances and we're putting a stop to this. So what is Iran's response? We're going to kill civilians. Non-combatants, they're targeting the cities. They're targeting people's homes intentionally and then complaining about collateral damage in Iran. Look, collateral damage is bad. We don't want civilians to die. If it is true the U.S. Launched a Tomahawk, which blew up a school and killed a bunch of little girls, horrifying. But the U.S. is not trying to do that. The U.S. gets to a point where it says, stop bombing us. Stop bombing our friends. Stop killing people in the region, and they don't. And the U.S. says, here comes the big stick. And again, their response is, then we'll kill everyone.
Yeah. Well, you saw the funerals, right? After America and Israel took out all their leaders, they had massive funerals. Did America go and bomb those massive funerals and individuals who came out? No.
Obama might have.
No, that was an opportunity, but that's not what America does. But what are they doing? They're consistently launching rockets into Israel on a daily basis. They're missiles. They're attacking other Arab nations.
Hey, look. I will say this between Israel and Iran. I think Israel, I'm sorry, I think Iran has stronger capabilities than they've let on for a long time. I do not.
Yes.
They fired rockets at Diego Garcia, which is our air base in the, I believe it's in the Indian Ocean. And this shocked the world because they were like, Iran has been claiming they don't have this capability. And I don't think it's surprising to find out they actually do.
Did you see Piers Morgan? He tweeted.
What did he say?
And he was like, oh, well, maybe we were wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I'll say this. Iran striking Israel, that's war. Israel is striking Iran. Iran is striking Israel. Israel is targeting military. Iran is targeting whatever civilians they can target, which includes civilian targets. So that's wrong. But for what reason is Iran bombing Dubai? Civilian targets. Two people just died.
You know why they're doing that? Because they
terror.
Well, yeah, not only terror, but they want to encourage the United States to take a step back. It's like, these are our allies. Okay, we'll stop.
It's the equivalent of Ian and I get into a fight. So then I threaten your family.
Right.
And you're like, my family has nothing to do with this. And I'll say, they do now because I'll do whatever it takes to win.
War.
It's terrorism.
Of course. That's what the underdog does in war.
Yep. And so Iran has decided, and this is part of their doctrine, if you go to war with us, we know we can't win, so we will massacre your children.
They're in
Planet on our way out. That kind
Yep.
of mentality.
They're in desperation mode, but I do, going back
Imagine
to
if they had a nuke.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine if they had a nuke. Will Donald Trump visit Iran? Not by June, maybe next year. You think there's going to be a regime change? Who thinks Reza Pahlavi is going to get into power?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think they're...
I thought he'd be like the Gandhi of Persia. He'll come. He'll give people hope. He'll help
Well,
them.
here's the thing: is
He probably will come back, but...
Reza has come back and said he has a plan.
Yeah.
Okay, he has a plan. He doesn't want to stay. So he comes back. Maybe he gets things in
just
order.
jumped to 16%. That's probably our fault.
As we're talking.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure people watching are going.
The Senate introduced a bill to make this illegal to gamble on the war stuff.
Well, they've
Interesting
they've
concept.
tried this. Prediction markets have been ruled legal.
I think Reza could oversee a transition to an actual republic.
Yeah, he has a plan.
The Islamic theocracy said, "Hey, everyone, we'll call it's a republic, and we're going to govern you." But it wasn't a republic. They lied to their people for the people. They're not even there. Like what? They mishandled that government. Reza could come in and really turn it into one of the strongest republics on the planet that is preserved against the technocratic order. If we do it right,
It would benefit the United States, but I'll tell you something. In 1979, the minute the Ayatollahs took over, they showed America and the world exactly who they were. They held our embassy hostage for 444 days. They literally, I can't believe it's
Until
gone on this
Ronald
long.
Reagan got into
Literally,
office.
they showed the world who they were. Why?
It was because the Shah fled to the United States and they
course.
wanted to try him. And because for crimes, and the United States, like he's getting cancer treatment in the U.S. They're like, then we're keeping your soldiers hostage till you give them back.
Right, but my point is,
we're not giving them back.
this is
And
who
then
they
the guy
are.
Died in the U.S. So then they let the hostages.
Remember the Beirut bombing? They killed them. The problem right now is you have a lot of young people who don't really understand who the Islamic regime are. They're not freedom fighters. They're not.
I think. I mean, I'm not arguing with.
No,
that.
I'm just
I think
saying.
they're horror. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think religiously
You just have a lot
minded
of young people who
that
don't
put
understand the history.
Zealous like religion before reality is deeply concerning to me.
They're extremists.
Yeah, like you got to put the book down and like look around at what's going on the planet. And
I just want to stress this again because with the moves Trump is making towards Iran, there are a lot of people that are on one side anti-interventionist, but guys, you may not like this. If Trump wins here and we reignite the petro LNG dollar and control global energy, Americans are going to live like fat cats.
I'm all for it.
And a lot of people might not like that. And I know I have a lot of friends that are like, it's not worth it. The collateral damage isn't worth it. I'm not disputing you or arguing morality. I am saying the end result of U.S. controlling energy is that we will get a lot of stuff for very little.
I'm ready for Americans to be able to live and not have to work 2 jobs, 3 jobs. California.
I'm trying to do.
Listen, I live in California, okay? And a lot of people are like, well, you get what you deserve. No, there's a lot of people in California, good people, who say, well, we want to stay in California, we want to fight. But the cost of living there, I mean, Nick Shirley just did an expose on what's happening. The fraud supersedes what happens with the Somalis, okay? We have a homeless industrial complex. It is literally a business. They do not want the homelessness to go away. As a matter of fact, it's gotten worse.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a business. So all these NGOs, all these organizations, they need to stay in power so they continue to feed the monster. You go out in the streets of Southern California, where used to be nice areas, you see zombies. It's scary. I have 2 children and they get scared. They're like, what is this? Like they're zombies, they're hanging, they're everywhere.
I guess the question is, do you want to live in a world where we are under the boot of China?
No.
And they're the ones doing, instead of the liberal economic order or Trump's order, they have the Belt and Road Initiative, and we can't buy oil anymore, and then people lose their jobs.
I mean, we see what's been happening. The drugs are coming out of China.
the fentanyl, making the zombies you're talking about.
Literally, they came out of China through Mexico, via Mexico.
This feels like the second Cold War, and that we're ending it now with the Iranian. Like the Iranians,
I like that.
And the Americans have been in a Cold War since the revolution.
Yeah.
They still say they're still in a revolution since '79, and when we ended the first Cold War, we had an opportunity to reshape the world in a good way. You say we live like fat cats. We can bring that tech to the planet. Mm-hmm. We should have done it in the 90s and early 2000s. We didn't have the internet to coordinate. Now we can. So the U.S. is going to end this Cold War and has opportunity to really raise the standard of living for the human race.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the U.S. and markets have been doing that for the better part of the past 60 years. You know, like I think the number of people that live in abject poverty, which is like less than $1 a day, has cratered to like maybe like 500 million or something like that. Out of all of the 8 billion people that live on the earth.
So the Somali story, sorry, I'm just going to say one thing. The fact that they were sending our money to Al-Shabaab, I mean, it makes my blood boil. That's as a matter of fact, I want my money back.
Yeah.
There are two principal factions, it would seem. The Trump faction is they're fine with Donald Trump securing energy and the U.S. control of it. There's another faction that says it's time to share power with the rest of the world. And Tucker Carlson made that quote. That includes China. I'm not interested in sharing power with China.
No, and I'm not interested in hearing what Tucker Carlson has.
I'm not saying I'm a fan of the war or anything.
I believe you. He's lost his mind. I don't know what happened to him. He basically, whoever his bosses are, didn't get their ROI because he's so pissed about what's happening in Iran. Same with Candace Owens.
Well, let's pull this up and talk about it. We've got this post from Officer Lou. He says, wow, Candace Owens launches a surprising attack on citizen journalist Nick Shirley. I'll first correct that and say Nick Shirley is not a citizen journalist. He is just a regular journalist. Citizen journalist means you're out walking your dog one day and you film a car crash and then go back to walking your dog. It was used by the corporate press as a pejorative against people like Nick Shirley. In her latest episode, she dismisses his hard-hitting investigative reporting as stupid, dumb, and completely made up. This is the weirdest thing. Let me play the clip for you first and then explain. Look, I'm going to say it outright. I think Candace is an op. And I'll explain why, but first listen to this.
Happened to find myself on top of Brazil's largest favela in a destroyed house interviewing gang members of one of the largest gangs in Brazil.
Okay, I'm just going to say I don't believe that at all. I'm sorry. I just, it's so stupid. I'm not even going to tell you why I don't believe it. It's like if you don't know that that's stupid, that he infiltrated the gang in 48 hours. That's so dumb. I'm so tired of dumb. That's not how that works, okay? You don't just go up to gangs on the street as a nice-looking white boy with a camera and say, hey, I just wanted to sort of see what you're doing here. What's going on? Okay, just stop. That's stupid. Of course, that's dumb. I'm sorry, Nick. I know you're young. I hope, whoever is your contact that has you infiltrating Antifa and infiltrating El Salvador at the age of 23 years old, it just feels like Sean Penn young to me. Oh, Sean Penn's always there.
She goes on to say he's always there and no one cares. She goes on this attack implying that Nick Shirley is faking his videos. Now, here's the thing. This reporting from Brazil is around 8 months old. She went back and found a segment that Nick Shirley did unrelated to U.S. politics, I believe intentionally, to discredit Nick Shirley. And now I'm seeing a bunch of tweets responding saying Nick Shirley's a liar.
Wow.
They're saying Candace is right. There's no way. Why would she do this? That's an honest question. Nick Shirley is currently working on Medicaid fraud stories in California, and they're massive. Who's opposing it? The Democrats. Gavin Newsom's making fun of him. Now Candace Owens is digging up old stories, not even big stories, from 8 months ago. It had 64,000 views, to insinuate Nick Shirley is fabricating or a plant. Let me just say real quick, I have covered the favelas in Brazil 3 times, and I'm going to tell you exactly how I interviewed the gang members. I walked up as a little nice white boy to the gang members and said, can we interview you? The real story is, my producer and I went to a favela. We had a fixer. This is a local who speaks Portuguese. We went to a restaurant and got food. We asked the one who worked there, hey, we're journalists from America. We work for Vice. We wanted to interview some of the gangs about what's going on. And she said, give me a second. She comes back. She gives information to our fixer and says, meet this guy later today. He'll be up, at this area. We wait till it gets dark. We go to meet him. It's like 8 o'clock or whatever. And there's a guy sitting in a plastic chair. We walk up. Everybody shakes his hand. It's a gang member, one of the gang leaders. It's a regular guy just sitting in a chair. And our Brazilian friend speaks Portuguese. And the guy says, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And they go, okay. And then we say, what happened? He goes, tomorrow at 1 o'clock, we're going to come here and we're going to meet a young gang member. He's going to put on a mask and we're going to interview him. He's going to tell us everything that's going on. It was that simple.
I believe it. I spent many years in media. You could do that anywhere.
It's what you do.
It's literally what you do. Candace knows. She always knows. By the way, Nick Shirley's part 1 out of California. I know the woman, Amy Reichard. Okay, she's out of San Diego. And she's been doing this research. By the way, Nick Shirley goes and he actually follows these people who've been doing this research. This is why you probably don't call him a citizen journalist. Yeah, exactly. So I can confirm that what he is reporting is exact fact because Amy has been reporting this in California.
I have to stress this point on citizen journalism and why it's important to me. In the early 2010s, with the ubiquity of cell phones emerging, we started to get a bunch of videos from regular people who would film a news event and then never film another news event again. A guy would be working at a hot dog shop. He'd be filming outside a fight breaking out, and then a shooting happens, and then he posts it online, and a local news outlet says, can we have this footage? That is citizen journalism. It's when otherwise non-journalists capture a newsworthy event, and it's not their intention. I started filming Occupy Wall Street, as well as many others, and the media insulted us by saying, this is not real journalism, this is citizen journalism, with the intent of saying we are random people who accidentally caught newsworthy information.
You're nobodies. Yep.
So even though I had been working at this for a year, I was being invited around places, they would still go, there was an event where I was not allowed on the main stage, and they were smack talking me from, I was speaking on a side stage about the future of media, and prominent journalists were on stage insulting me directly, saying this is not real journalism. He's not a journalist. He's not producing journalism. He was a guy who was standing somewhere and filmed a thing, and now you guys are calling it journalism. And I said, these people are scumbags.
Yeah, you are a threat.
Now, I don't think Officer Liu's point is to disparage Nick Shirley, but I want to stress this. The word citizen journalism is used by the corporate press to say that Nick Shirley is not doing real work and is untrustworthy. Nick Shirley is a journalist, period. Now, again, I'll say this. I think Candace is an op. Why? This is calculated. You do not accidentally go through Nick Shirley's footage and try and find something to discredit that could then call into question his current reporting. That is a manipulation strategy that is a bit more advanced. Meaning, if you go to someone and say, how do we make people distrust Nick Shirley? The left has insulted him, and they just call him a white supremacist. He's a racist. But people on the right love him. How do we discredit him? Okay, well, we can't go to the Somali stuff. Trump's praised it. We can't go to the Medicaid stuff. People believe it, and Newsom's against it. We need to go and find something else he's done that people cannot relate to and can't prove, that we can question. So if you were trying to intentionally discredit somebody, you would go into their work and find something like
this
Brazil,
right,
where the average person doesn't know how it works, and then say, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. You don't walk up to gang members and just do this. And the people who trust Candace are going to go, yeah, that is dumb. But there's no way for them to connect those dots to anything in their lives.
Unless you understand the journalism. Let me ask you this. As an op, who is who's giving her the information?
She's married to a British lord, and her lawyers work in a building with federal agents. So the people who believe Candace Owens, I'll say it again, tell me why her lawyers work in a building with federal agents. Honest question. I'm just curious.
No, we're just asking questions.
Nobody's answered it. They just, the response given is it's a coincidence. And I'm like, oh, that's a coincidence. She's the one who revealed the address too. And then it went viral because people were like,
I remember that. I know.
Yeah. They were like, she claimed that these government agents were going to these buildings, and she showed the documents that proves it. And then the left came out and said, that's her lawyer's office. And we were like, what the? And we corroborated it. It's true.
Has Nick Shirley responded to this, by the way?
I think they did, and she backed off. But either way, what is the point of going on your show and telling her largely female audience that Nick Shirley is a liar?
I think that it's just looking for drama. I mean,
no, I think she can find drama anywhere. She
is the drama queen.
She put my face on a thumbnail implying I was involved in the murder of Charlie Kirk. So she wants drama. She can easily get it. This is discrediting Nick Shirley, who's not engaging otherwise in political debate. Nick Shirley is not doing political shows where he says Democrats should lose. He's just going and filming things that are happening.
And really talking about issues that matter to Americans. By the way, this was old, like you just said. Now, is she done with Erica Kirk?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, she hasn't.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying Nick Shirley is not culture war relevant unless you're anti-Trump, anti-populist. And so
she's been going hard against Trump.
She's in the faction that wants to share power with China.
Man, I would love to know more. I don't want to assume her intention, because I can't. I would think like there's emergent AI bots that are commenting on all of our stuff.
Then let me ask you a question. Why did she go through Nick Shirley's video going back 8 months to find the story?
She's been like, you know what? One day she got hit by inspiration. She was like, I wonder what, I got to look into this Nick Shirley guy.
She got hit by an inspiration. No way.
Yeah.
It came in
serendipity.
And she was like, I got to look into this guy. This is how Candace thinks. I know you, Candace. I know you think. She's like, I got to look into this guy. So she pulls up like all his stuff and she's like, oh, this is interesting. And looks at it and she's like, it's not perfect. I'm going to criticize it. People need to know.
It's not perfect. She called him a liar. She said he fabricated the story, bro.
That's not how she works. That's not how her brain.
She said he faked that news.
Yep.
That's not inspiration. That's accusing Nick Shirley of being fake news, of being a plant.
Well, that's after the fact, like what she does.
On her show, she said that's not how it works. You didn't do this. I don't believe it for a second.
I was in the bathroom when you ran the clip, so I saw the end of the clip. I was just talking about why
she said
why she did it in the
this
first
is
place.
dumb. It's so dumb. I'm so tired of stupid. This is not how it works. You do not walk up to gangs as a nice little white boy and get these interviews and infiltrate these gangs.
It's insane.
She said he's like Sean Penn who just shows up and the cartels just leave him alone.
She's a total narcissist too, you guys. We can't ignore that fact.
Since Charlie died, I know Candace. Candace has been on the show. I know you directly, Candace. It seems like since Charlie was murdered that you went into madness. And what I mean by that is, I know it's a silly child's word, but what that means is that there's pain and confusion together. You don't know why you're in pain. That was a terrifying, like, Charlie getting murdered was like, there must be a bigger reason. People are thinking that because they want out of the madness. They want there to be a reason.
My first reaction after Charlie was killed was to think, what can I do to destroy his legacy? And then worked as hard as I could to fracture the coalition that got Trump elected, accused prominent young up-and-coming journalists who are exposing corruption. I called them fake news, and I attacked the widow. That's sure you're hurt because of Charlie's death. Right, trust me.
There's that phrase, the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Like good intentions of targeting an up-and-coming journalist and accusing him of being fabricating news. Yeah, that's good intentions.
She doesn't like to be outshined by
It does seem like an Alinsky tactic from Rules for Radicals to accuse him
Saul
of
Alinsky.
something that
you are
she
doing?
indeed is doing, yeah.
Listen, Ian, think whatever you want, but there is literally no explanation as to why Nick Shirley, who has not attacked her, has not commented on the Erica Kirk stuff, he literally just goes down and interviews people. What is the purpose of attacking a person who does that? For the Democrats, it's because he's exposing corruption. But for Candace Owens, what does it serve?
Well, money, views, relevance.
Sure.
Talking about the most popular guy right now.
Okay, so if your argument is that she's intentionally trying to destroy one of the best up-and-coming journalists we have to make money?
I think
is that what you think she's doing?
I don't think she's like,
I would
going to
agree with that.
destroy this guy. I think she says, if there's malfeasance here, I'm going to magnify it and so people can see it. And then she thinks it's malfeasance.
Well, I think it's narcissism too.
What malfeasance?
She's wrong. It's that he's faking this. She thinks he's faking this.
So she made up that he faked it.
Yeah, that's
for money.
a problem. That's a big problem.
For money.
I'm not. What about it?
For money.
For like fame, relevance, power.
Yeah, that's
why do we
evil.
make videos at all? What's the
I would call
point?
that
I want
evil.
to tell the world my
She doesn't
thoughts.
like to be outshined. Yeah, that's a good point. Who's left of her viewers, her followers? Because every time
a lot of people.
But every time you look at the comments, it's like, I've lost so much respect. I'm out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially with this one.
It's the Maha women. It's suburban women.
Maha women, yes.
Yep.
But
I believe that.
I had so much respect for the Maha women.
This is why I don't believe it's organic, because Trump got pushed over the edge by Maha suburban women. These were moderate women who didn't like Donald Trump and wouldn't vote for him. RFK Jr. comes in, and they do. Candace captures that female audience with her Stanley mug in front of her thing. It's a heavily female-coded audience. And then she starts attacking the successful elements of the right. Turning Point USA did voter drives that helped Donald Trump get elected. Mm-hmm. Charlie dies, and she immediately accuses Turning Point of being in on it, fracturing Turning Point and damaging their ability to continue helping the right populist movement. Listen, I'm sorry. There is zero reality where any person of legitimate reason or mind attacks Nick Shirley. I'm sorry.
Well, Erica Kirk. We could just start with Erica Kirk. Why would she attack a woman?
Because she wore leather pants.
Yes.
I'm not kidding. She wore leather pants.
If we were in private and she brought it up, I'd be like, "Do you think so? Why?" And then I would talk. But to amplify it on TV, like that's you might think it's just a thing in real life, but it is a big deal to put your thoughts on TV. It is a huge fucking deal how that changes the way you.
And then she had a meeting with Erica Kirk too, and then even after that, and even after that, she tripled down.
I think the end result of what Candace is doing is going to be the end of Section 230. I believe it's a component of this. The powers that be want to end independent media. Shows like this, they don't want to exist. Yeah. We've been suppressed and censored 1,000,001 times. Our biggest episode was deleted for 3 years, and I had to fight to get it back. The first time we had Alex Jones on, they told me I was allowed to, and then deleted it right afterwards. So we did another one. Yeah, on YouTube. So imagine what happens when you have 50,000 videos attacking Erica Kirk in the most deranged of ways. To the point where when you go on Threads, you've got women saying, Erica Kirk will get what's coming to her, mark my words. I'm not kidding. It's an actual post.
So insane.
What happens when something actually happens to Erica or her kids, Charlie's kids?
They're going to blame the internet.
You're going to get congressional hearings, and they're going to bring YouTube in and say, why did you allow this? And they're going to say, because we got attacked for political censorship for years, so we backed off. Now you're asking us to bring it back. And they're going to say, well, you're allowing mass defamation, and now you are liable. YouTube lost a lawsuit just the other day stating that there's precedent now that YouTube is responsible for what they're promoting. So the argument is going to be, no one's asking you to silence these people. We're saying, why are you promoting Candace Owens to new users when you know that she said Brigitte Macron has a penis, or that Erica Kirk did this, that, or otherwise, and YouTube's going to say, then we'll stop doing it. All of a sudden, then, the algorithm changes, and the only YouTube channels you get are the ones that YouTube signs exclusive contracts with. You'll still be allowed to upload to YouTube.
It just will be nothing.
You will never be suggested or recommended.
That story you're talking about, the 9-year-old whose parents sued YouTube and Facebook and won $6 million.
This just happened the other day.
I think personally that's a garbage case that'll get escalated and thrown out because, firstly, it's some weird California court, and then secondly,
New Mexico did it too.
So it's look, if your kid cuts himself on a knife, that's not the knife company's fault. The parent should not let a 9-year-old on the freaking internet. That is a parent's fault.
I agree. And so potentially they'll also ban under 18s from the internet. Australia banned under 16s.
Or parental supervision allowing their children on the internet.
How do you make
government ID is required?
Like, what
how do you make that law?
X rolled out region blocking. Do you guys see this?
Why do we need government IDs if we don't even need them to vote?
Well, that's
a whole other story.
It's not going to be the liberals' argument. It's going to be the rights argument.
But so what you're saying is independent journalism is going to go away.
It will exist in some form, but it'll be the way it used to be, in that you will produce a piece of media and then beg the big corporations to run it.
Yeah,
so then
pirate radio, like mesh networking.
How long do you think it will take before that actually happens?
Well, I do think we're largely already in this space. Just the fact that you've got a handful of people who break YouTube's rules to a great degree, and YouTube still promotes them, shows editorial selection.
Candace?
Her among others, right? I'm surprised because we've had videos taken down for much less.
And I've said stuff on my personal channel and beyond where your normal guy might get it taken down, but the way I said it, they're like,
oh, but Meta's the worst. They've censored me for months at a time. Yep. They're the worst. And then you have no one to talk to because you're talking to AI.
I typed about George Floyd being on like amphetamines and what is the 5 drugs, and I got blacklisted on Facebook.
Oh, TikTok too. TikTok.
Yeah, well, TikTok's changing.
Yeah,
because it was bought by the Ellison network.
Yeah.
So I can tell you for a fact that behind the scenes at TikTok, their editorial drive has flipped entirely.
I mean, realistically, you don't want a giant corporation controlling your media network anyway.
No, you don't. But they're so threatened by independent media that's probably why they're doing this.
Very likely.
Who's watching mainstream media?
Nobody.
Exactly.
But I'm telling you, I already know where this is going because I'm talking to these companies even right now. And the plan is, it was described to me this way. In the future, there are going to be 3 big subscription services. And the only thing people consume are going to be through these services. YouTube will probably be one of them. Then you've got Peacock or CBS. And, so it's going to
consolidate.
Right. So look at CBS. Like banks if CBS buys Warner Brothers, they own CNN.
Yeah.
So that puts everything under the Paramount Plus brand.
Right.
So you're going to have potentially Peacock. You're going to have 3 to 5 big networks. You're going to download the app. You're going to pay your subscription fee of, $10.99 or $19.99 per month, and you're not going to watch YouTube anymore. So the way I liken it is,
it'll be called
$19.99.
You'll just be able to do whatever.
No, you're going to be like, oh, turn on Netflix, turn on YouTube. $19.99. Anybody could download any song they wanted. It destroyed the music industry, and then they wrapped it back up and created streaming services. Then you had Mega Upload. Did you guys see the Supreme Court ruling now on Mega Upload?
No.
They explicitly, this is hilarious, poorkim.com, that I'll give you the quick gist that secondary copyright infringement from users is not the fault of the service platform, which is what they rated and shut down Mega Upload for. So in the 2000s, you get Mega Upload. Now movies are free. So what do? They shut it down, and now you have Amazon. Now you have YouTube, where political commentary and social discourse has been running like crazy for the past 10 years. They're going to shut it down, and they're going to stick it back on the front page of their streaming services. Everything will be through the official mainstream channels. If you want to listen to a song, how do you get it? Apple Music or Spotify.
Okay,
if you want to watch
younger generation follow
100%.
But I mean, they love their like apps here and there. They love.
And when they go home, it's going to be a TV screen where they're going to have 3 apps. They're going to be like, "What's on Paramount?" And they're going to open up Paramount, and they're going to be like, "Oh, I love watching Real Time with Ian Crossland." Huh. Bill Maher's 70.
There'll be both. That's for like pleb action. There'll be hot pleb action and 3 big networks, and then everyone else will have their code. Like you'll be able to go into Rumble systems, like free systems where you can interoperate and send each other crypto. And
Rumble. Whoa.
Like we have Rumble Wallet. We even
no. Listen. Rumble already largely has their front page. We're on the front page of Rumble right now. as one of their premier shows.
we could do-
everything is going in this direction.
One of my companies is building decentralized software where you can upload your video to like a Rumble server, and then everyone else that has that software can see your content, and it's kind of like its own network.
Ian, understand.
You can technically build that into a browser.
You can listen to any song you want right now on Apple or Spotify, right? But when you open the app...
Not rolling Orzabal's stuff, unfortunately. Tomcat's screaming outside. I want to.
So when you open Apple and the list you get of available... I go to my Tesla and I go to the music and it tells me what to listen to. And when I play it, what am I going to get? Sabrina Carpenter, The Weeknd. You're not going to get Ian Crossland. You're not going to get All That Remains. You might get All That Remains if you pick a metal channel somewhere further down. That's true.
My algorithm fed me
Timcast is available on the... If you go on Tesla, you can listen to
the one you guys did.
If you go to Tesla and go to the music and type in Timcast, my songs are there. But they will never promote them.
The algorithm is promoting it to me because it knows that I click on IRL, so I get your music.
Yeah, I get that too.
And that's going to go away. It's going away.
Well, if we get rid of an algorithm completely, you're saying everything is just time sensitive?
Because
like
YouTube
It's basically
is legally liable for what their algorithm does. They are going to say no more algorithm.
You could have
So they're not going to feed new viewers out there and make you grow. Right? So essentially your followers have to share
Ian, you can upload your songs to Spotify.
Yeah.
Spotify's never going to put it on rotation. And they say, what do you mean? You have your free speech. Your song's right there. Just no one ever heard of you. It's not our fault.
Yeah, well,
and then you say, hold on.
I started doing YouTube.
Hold on, that band.
They would literally pick a video and put it on the front
that band
page
you just signed, you signed a band and you put them in your rotation. And they're going to say, that's right, because it's ours. And that's what's going to happen. YouTube will still have podcasts. Jimmy Dore will still be on YouTube, but YouTube is going to say he will never be in our rotation.
I think if you do an algorithm other than, time algorithms, like whatever's the most recent thing is what's in front of you, that if it's an open algorithm and it's government approved, like the people are like, that's a reasonable algorithm, that we could use that.
Who's going to check the algorithm to decide if it's reasonable?
But hold on. Okay, guys.
I didn't say
listen.
Was it possible? I said, who's going to do that?
I am telling you right now, YouTube is liable for their algorithm for any perceived damages. There is only one way around that. No algorithm.
Yeah, but what does that mean? There's still an algorithm.
No.
If it's just like time-based, whatever you want to call that?
No.
It's still technically an algorithm. Is it just like the most recent thing is what you see?
No.
Then what do you see when you
YouTube editorially signs contracts with big channels and puts them on the front page like the New York Times puts articles.
It's the same thing with...
Is there any feeds? You're getting rid of feeds completely?
Yes.
Why would you do that? That's like... Why would
you control the narrative and make everybody believe what you want them to believe?
That's not the idea.
Because most people don't.
Yes, it is.
That's what for YouTube it is.
They're getting rid of independent journalism.
Yeah,
That's the point.
The people that
the big investors in the government. You think the Ellisons? You think the Ellisons bought CBS for fun?
No, I know why.
Why did they buy it?
Why
did they buy TikTok?
The establishment is trying to control people's minds so that they can make you eat paste and shut up.
So why would they let people speak freely? When the precedent set now is you are legally liable, they have every opportunity.
You be free. That's not what the world is about.
What does that have to do with powerful elites trying to shut you out?
That don't bow down and acquiesce at the first sign
what
of them giving you a
does that have to
argument.
do with it?
What does what have to do with it?
You may want a lot of things, Ian. It doesn't matter if the people who own those things won't give them to you.
You're not making the distinction between is and ought. Right, so you're talking about the way things ought to be, the way you think things ought to be, right? But what you're dealing with when it comes to the scenario that Tim's talking about is the way that it is.
If no changes happen, that is the path we are on, yes. But changes will and can happen.
And those changes that are happening right now is, as I stated, you used to be able to download any song you wanted. What happened, Ian?
They commoditized it, yeah. Now you have
they sued people. They criminally charged people. Mm-hmm. And then they pushed all of digital music into a single system where they decide what you listen to. That's why when Carter and I had songs that should have charted on Billboard, they lied to us and didn't count it. The whole week when we had Together Again for sale.
That's what I heard last night.
What did we had 30,000 sales in 1 week?
6.4 million views on YouTube right now.
40-something thousand?
40,000.
So what you're saying is
so hold on. We had 40,000 sales of our song.
Number one on the 200.
It's such a good song.
You thought we were going to be number one?
If they would have counted all that, yes.
Instead, they told us during the week where we were selling. We said it was our 7th release.
Yeah. And honestly, dude, we pushed iTunes for pre-sales and got like 2,500 and still got like 6 on the alt chart.
And so we said, this is our 7th release. We keep getting mistakes on Billboard charting. For some reason, tell us what to do. They said, here's what you need to do. We even paid for a service for Illuminate. And they said, here's what you do. And I said, okay, we are putting the song up. We are going to do what you tell us to do. We are going to sell the song. The Daily Wire helped promote it because it was a cover of Jeremy Boring's song with Michael Knowles. The song releases, selling like hotcakes. So we know with the data in the back end, we're tracking really well to massively storm the charts. We reach out to all involved, 3 different companies. Is this the right way to do it? And they said, yes, everything looks good. When the week ended, they did not count our sales, and we got 9th place in sales. And we said, hold on. We had something like 40,000 singles sold, making us like the number 1 single for the week. And they said, we don't count your singles. And we said, why? Because the machine controls what you are allowed to hear, and Carter Banks and Tim Pool are not allowed to be rock stars on the Billboard charts.
It doesn't control what you can hear.
We got something like what?
Who gets to get
we
the
got
awards.
something like 15 million streams or whatever on that song.
Oh yeah,
it's very much like the Oscars. No,
crazy.
They're not going to put me in the Oscars, even if I do the best movie on earth and it wins.
Exactly.
The thing is, they changed
they know what I'm
the
going to say.
Exactly the point. They changed the
They iced
rules.
me out, and
and
they have done
bro,
that.
here's the funny thing. Because of us, didn't they change the rules again? Like
Yeah,
3 times?
First, we got kicked off Bandcamp. There's like 3 services you can use to sell digital downloads that they will accept, and Bandcamp was one of them. We had to create a band Zoogle.
We got banned from Bandcamp because the machine only allows the people they choose to speak.
And that was during the Biden administration. We were talking really critical about the
And
government.
the machine is now going to continue to control independent journalists. And what you're saying is we've had a good run.
Well, there's still going to be, as there always is, independent musicians. They'll make okay money. Independent media will exist. You will find ways through the cracks, but it's largely going to be solidified.
Right.
Short films sometimes make it, but usually if you're not on Amazon, I mean, how's anyone going to find your film?
They're not going to know.
Yeah. So there will be some virality engines through, say, X, but in the dawn of Facebook and Twitter, virality engines were massive. You could make a video and it would go viral. There was no control over what people were able to push up and see. This is how 4chan was able to do a bunch of operations. They've shut that down. Facebook has banned everybody, and there's no more virality. It is gone. I don't know if people remember this, but in the 2000s, in the early 2010s, you could film a video and it would end up on Reddit, hit the front page, and before you knew it, you had millions of views.
Yeah, that's how we promoted mine. So that's how I was doing with Facebook marketing, man.
That never happens anymore. It's gone.
Reddit would ban you if they found out you were doing it. They would try and stop you. But I'm
not talking about doing anything. I'm saying people could post your content and it would go viral. No longer does this happen.
If they knew that I was the one posting it, they would stop it. That was their rule.
You're allowed to post your own content.
Yeah, but
you're
not going to go viral.
They would still delete it for some reason.
Speaking of virality, did you mention that Elon Musk responded to you?
Yeah, someone, Kettlebell Dan said we should set it so that you can charge people to DM you and a set amount. And I agree. And then I said, I agree. Let's do it. Elon said, okay.
Yeah.
So the idea is that, so right now I'll put it like this. My DMs are closed. Nobody can DM me because otherwise with 2.5 million followers,
all day.
it'd be impossible.
Yeah.
However, there are some circumstances where I have no problem with anyone DMing me. So right now it's closed to only people that I follow and know can DM me. Imagine if he opened it up that said, if you would like to DM this person, it costs $20. Now, some might say, and they did, that's BS. Why should I give you money to try and talk to you? Well, because I don't want 7,000 messages per hour. My mentions are already unreadable. But if someone truly wants to get through and they do $20, that dramatically reduces spam. It eliminates bots. It gives me an incentive to actually read these messages, a way to monetize the platform for high-profile creators. And if people are truly serious and have something important to say they're willing to spend $20 on, then they will.
Listen,
exactly.
I agree with you. I had an experience on Alaska Airlines not too long ago, and I wanted to try to send an email to one of their executives. Every single email I found bounced back because they only want you to deal with their AI bots online or their customer service if you can get through to them. So like you said, to your point, if somebody wants to talk to you and you have how many, 2 million followers?
2.5 on it.
2.5. Congratulations.
I'm not opening my DMs.
No.
I would get 10,000 messages every hour or more. Probably more than that. My mentions are already just unreadable. I click mention and it's just a feed flying like crazy.
Yeah, you can't
not happening.
Yeah.
And then don't get me started on when I start trending for whatever reason. If people are talking about me or I do something controversial. But there's with Cameo and similar services. Not only with Cameo can you offer to pay someone for a shout out, you can also set it so that they can send you messages, business deals, or requests for money.
I wonder if X will take a percentage or just keep it free, keep it completely.
I think it'll be
Elon
free.
is a money guy.
No, it'll be free.
3%.
No, I don't think
It'll be
so.
free. You know why it'll be free?
Why?
Because Elon needs a machine to get people to use X money.
Yeah, I was just gonna say because of X money.
He wants to roll out X money where you can use the X app to buy
Money
things.
music video. Dude.
How does he get people to universally adopt this? High-profile individuals with a monetary incentive to have money in their X accounts, which they will then be like, I can use X money. I got $60 because I got a bunch of messages. Regular people will then have a reason to load money onto their X account to then DM people. It's a brilliant play, and I hope he does it.
Part of the future of independent journalism for sure. That's how independent journalists will stay alive and stay eating.
Well, now even the monetization. I know back in the day, like with you could make like $10,000 a month on X. I don't even think that's the case anymore.
Well,
did you see libs of TikTok? TikTok actually. Did you see libs of TikTok?
I get like $7K a month.
Yeah, there was a I saw what you're talking about, the $10,000. Tim actually
charged?
That happened to
Tim
us
actually
too.
had
What
some-
is that? I don't know. I've
So
never seen that.
it's premium. It's gold check.
Okay.
So the X gold check, everybody like a lot of for us, it was like 20,000 a year, and we stopped because they don't do anything for you. It's basically like, hey, if you give us 10 grand, we'll give you gold check and 10 grand in ads. Well, the first thing that happened was I wanted the Timcast, my personal @Timcast, to be the principal account, and they told me no because it was personal, despite the fact a ton of people got their personal accounts.
Verified.
Yeah. Gold check. So we did it for Timcast News. Here's what happened. One day I get a text message from my bank saying, "Did you just spend 20 grand on premium business?" That's all it said was premium business. And I said, "What the fuck is that?" No. So I go and I ask, our like admins, "What's this credit card bill for 20 grand?" No idea. Pull it up. We go and look at the statement and it says premium business 20 grand. And we're like, yeah, okay, this looks like a scam. So I call my bank and I say, we can't identify this purchase. It's $20,000. And they were like, okay, then we're going to block it. 3 days later, gold check removed. Everybody loses verification. And we went,
That's what that was.
it was the yearly. And then I said, well, hold on a minute. Why is it $20,000? And then we went through it and it's something like, if you have a business account, for every person you add to your account, it's like $100. And then I said, guys, it's like $10 to get your own blue check. I'm not spending $100 a person when it's $10 a person. So we told them we're
yourself.
Yeah, we're not interested anymore. Apparently, libs of TikTok did the same thing and they charged them anyway.
Well, that's what she was saying. That's they were posting. They're like, I just got a $10,000 bill. Can somebody help me? And I'm like, what is this? I had no idea what that was. Did you know?
No,
Yes, it's premium business.
She got hit. Is it
It's-
cosmetic?
it's-
pure cosmetic?
It's purely cosmetic.
Yeah.
You get it. Well, here's the thing. You get a golden check mark. You can then add people to your account who get your little badge, and it's like $100 a person. So for us, it was 20 grand a year, which is like $2,000 a month. It's crazy. It's like a little bit less. But you get preferred access to the people at X. So it is valuable because, like you were saying with Facebook, it's all bots. Mm-hmm. With premium business, you call a person on the phone and they fix problems for you. So it does have that value. The only thing is, I said I'll just buy premium personally for myself for $30 a month or whatever.
And how often are you calling them?
Never.
Never. Exactly.
But I do hope that Elon creates something. So you do get 10,000 free ad credits, and we use them. We did. I just ultimately said I don't know that we have enough of a marketing campaign on X for it to make it worth it. For a big brand, it does make a lot of sense because you're just going to promote your brand using X platform, which works. But we don't really run ads that much on X, which we could. But so. It's valuable if you're selling pizza and you have like a big restaurant chain. But for us, didn't quite make sense.
I wonder if you could add functionality to the gold checkmark itself. Like if I click on it, it takes me to a list of all the people that are in that organization.
I think it does do that.
Some online analytics.
I think it does do that.
Okay.
I've never checked on a gold check mark.
Yeah. But you see the badge next to someone's name.
I've
It'll
seen
say
that.
like Timcast.
Yeah.
You
And
can
it's
click
gold,
it.
and it's gold.
No.
Right? No?
Next to one of their affiliates' names will be their company's profile
That's
picture.
pretty cool. Does everyone in the org get access to the call then? You pay for other people to
Well,
have
your
access
company
to
does.
The company?
Yeah, I mean, it's better the way it's better than how they used to do it when it was run by the FBI.
Well, I'm saying if you had 20 people you were paying for $100 each for the month, could any of those 20 people call the
Yes.
helpline? Oh, okay. So it opens up to the employee network.
Yes.
Well, it's whatever
call
you
X
as the boss of your company spending the money, it's whoever you want to give the phone number to. So I could be like, hey, Phil, I need you to call X. Here's the number. This is the problem, which wouldn't make sense to give Phil the number, but he could call him if he wanted to.
By the way, guys, Nick Shirley just spoke at CPAC, and people are praising him, saying he delivered a historic speech.
Amazing.
Dude,
I don't know. I haven't.
Legend.
Yeah, there's like a little clip, but I'm not going to play it. You can play. You can find it.
We need more Nick Shirleys. We need more Nate Friedmans. We need more Cam Higbees.
Oh, Nick, can we talk about Nick Friedman? He's doing an amazing job. Nate Friedman, sorry.
I know he's doing an incredible job.
Incredible, yeah.
And Nick Shirley's really taken the spotlight. You got these 3 young guys all popping up doing this on the ground journalism. Nick Shirley just skyrocketed to the moon, but let's not forget these other guys are doing great work on the ground. I'm an old man. I can't do it anymore.
I was gonna say, and you know who opened the doors for them? It was people like you. I want people to know like how journalism is. You grind, okay? I've spent so many years, when you're in local news, you're grinding day in, day out. And even what you do now, Tim, it's remarkable. The fact that you can go on air and you can speak for 3 hours. I think people think that's easy. It's not easy.
Easy for me.
Well, I know, but still, like you got another topic.
I've been doing it for a decade too.
But there's preparation that goes into it. It's not like you're not reading. You're not constantly educating yourself. It's a lot of work. It's not like a regular job where you're like, today I'm going to go wash the dishes and I'm just not going to use my brain. That's not how this works. I spent years in media. Like even when I did a morning show, I would go in at like 4. I'd be on air by 4:30, and then I'd be on until 1 p.m. That's a lot of airtime, and that's a lot of work. And you have to be prepared. You have to know what you're talking about.
The longest I've ever gone, it was during Occupy. I was live for 21 hours.
You were live the entire time?
Yeah, 21 hours straight.
See, people
were bringing me batteries because my phone was dying. And then at one point I had no battery, so there was a guy who this guy Justin had a laptop in his backpack. Mm-hmm. So I plugged my phone into his laptop and ran alongside him to get a trickle charge off his laptop. And then people went to this old tech store that doesn't exist anymore called J&R and bought these big Energizer batteries and then would run them to me, and they would have like 70%. I'd plug in my phone to keep it going. 21 hours straight.
Did you go to the bathroom?
Yes.
What did you do with the recording?
Handed the phone to somebody, ran to the bathroom, ran out. And then it got to the point where I was so exhausted and malnourished, I couldn't open my hand anymore.
Oh, it was potassium or something?
Yep. It was raining. And I was like, I can't open my hand. It's cramped. It's locked. I'm dehydrated. I need a banana. And then someone ran and brought me a naked juice. Huh. And I slammed it. And I was like, let's go.
But you also have the gift of gab. Okay. Not everybody can speak for 21 hours.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that gift from? Your mom or your dad?
The strategy is
no, but really, no. You have to.
It's my guess.
The strategy is here's the trick. When you're streaming online, it's easy to talk forever because there's a chat feed constantly going. So when you're walking down the street, if there's nothing to talk about, you just say, let's go to the chat and see what they're saying, and then you start reading.
Part of Tim's thing is he's got a really, really remarkable memory.
Oh yeah.
He can just like recall things. Like he'll sit there and list off like poker hands that he was playing 2 days ago or last weekend.
I can tell you a poker hand I played 3 years ago.
Yeah, so that's a real good edge.
Yeah, I don't want to like shoot it up your whatever, but good job, man.
Yeah, no.
That's right.
I just want people.
He has no control over his memory. That's not shooting it up as
As we're crediting these young up and coming journalists, I just want people to know that there are people like, Tim who set the tone, back in the day.
You know what the trick is? It's video
back
games.
In the day, I am not aging.
I have a good memory because of one video game.
Which one?
Ian, you might be able to make a guess based on my age. What game would I have played when I was young that would be good for my memory? I'll give you.
God. I mean, my guess is Chrono Trigger, but it's not
Mahjong.
I don't think.
No.
And
I am 40 years old.
Mario Brothers.
So,
no, I'm just kidding.
Tetris.
Yes. Which one?
Super Mario.
Which one?
Because I used to.
Really?
This is a very easy one. Chat, can you figure
Mario
out
World?
which game I'm talking about?
Super Mario World?
You are all uncultured heathens. It's Super Mario 3.
Super
and
Mario.
Do you know
3?
why?
Why?
Because they have a memory game as a bonus in Mario. Yeah. So in Mario 3, if you beat certain levels with a certain time or coin amount, you will get, I think it's called the N card.
Dude.
And when you go to it, you will then get a game of memory where if you can match without making, I think, 2 errors, you will get the items. And so every time I'm playing that game, not only did I have to memorize where the star was, here's what else I memorized. There were only, I think, 4 different memory games. And so based on where there's like the top left corner is a 10 coin. Then you go down to the bottom and right one is a 10 coin. And if I saw that, I instantly knew the entire thing.
Yep. Was this Super Nintendo or Nintendo?
NES.
Okay, NES.
Yeah. How about this one for you, Ian?
No, have you played
ready?
Memory?
course.
Memory for your kids. If you
Yes.
guys have, that's the game we played all the time growing, like a lot
All
of
right,
it,
Ian.
not all the time. And guess
you
who?
ready?
But Memory, dude.
Here you go.
Memory for your kids.
BA, up, down, BA, left, right, BA, start.
Okay.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, level select code. Try it. I'm not wrong.
Oh, I don't know if I ever used that code.
It gives you 9 lives. It gives you 9 extra lives because you also have 0, and you can choose any stage you want.
Read a lot of books as a kid?
Nope. Just Harry Potter.
Oh.
Yeah. And Still Life with Woodpecker.
Still Life with a Woodpecker.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you remember the orange gun?
The orange gun? The zapper?
Yes.
Ours was gray.
For Nintendo.
Oh, yeah, the
gray one.
Zapper.
The early one was
Yeah,
gray,
the early one was it orange? Right, it was orange, right?
There was an orange one.
Orange one?
Yeah, mine was gray.
Still Life with who?
Woodpecker.
This was
They made it orange because it
And
was
it's-
the whole like.
Read all the Harry
Mario
Potter
Kart
books when I
was
was a
my
little
favorite.
kid.
all 7 of them.
Bro, it was an experience. I remember being, I think I was 18 years old, and I was reading a social media post on like LiveJournal from a friend, and they said, "Can you believe that by the time the last book comes out, we'll be 21 years old?"
And you were
I
like,
was like,
oh my goodness.
"Wow."
Wait, there was no social media back then.
Yeah, LiveJournal, UJournal.
LiveJournal,
Oh yeah, when I was 18, we had Friendster and MySpace.
Yeah, MySpace. Remember
Zanga, that
good
was
old
one.
MySpace?
I used UJournal.
I used MySpace. That was
Wait,
how I got started on YouTube because
you
I
know,
wanted to send my friends my videos. I'm like, I'm having these ideas about breaking through fear and being open and like communication with people. And then so I'd embed them in MySpace and mail them. And then people just started responding on YouTube. I'm like, I guess there's a market for them.
No, but remember when MySpace was like a chat thing, and then it became a music channel?
Yes.
And then like
Timberlake bought it. Is that
Yeah,
what?
it was the best.
Yeah,
music.
it's a bummer they did that, by the way, because they erased the database and
the
everything.
whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I try to find my stuff. It's totally gone.
Yeah, it's all gone.
Yeah, we had the first. So I was on UJournal and LiveJournal, and then the first actual social network was actually before this. We all had a GeoCities. Did you guys have a GeoCities?
I made one. I built
Yes,
one. I coded
yes.
And I had I had the peanut butter jelly man GIF, you know.
it. I had Richard
And then
Simmons
I
on
had
mine.
I had Hulk. I had Macho Man Randy Savage GIF. You know.
Macho Man.
And then you'd embed an MP3, and we all had these little GeoCities websites. And then people started using UJournal and LiveJournal because you could post and you didn't need to build it. Then Friendster came out. My friend was like, "Are you on Friendster?" And I was like, "What is it?" Oh, it's like you put a picture and you like make a profile. Then MySpace came out, went to MySpace. Then Facebook came out, and we were like, "I'm not moving." But then MySpace started getting cluttered with stupid CSS and
And then
like
they shut it
HTML.
down.
Well, no. Well before they shut it down.
ground to a halt in like 2006. End of 2006, MySpace got overloaded because it was so popular, and they couldn't. It was before you could have virtual.
Oh, dude, you were getting
servers.
spam.
They couldn't control the servers, and it ground the site to a halt for like a month. And everybody's on YouTube. A lot of YouTubers were like, this fucking sucks because everybody's using MySpace
I
right
paid
now.
graphic
And we all
designers
stopped.
to make like really high level like the top banner.
They were
for, like my band and stuff. Like,
It was awesome, but it was a victim of its own success, and then it ground it.
What, MySpace?
Yeah, and then Facebook appeared, and everyone jumped ship.
I think a big
in that
part of the
same
problem.
time.
I think a big part of the
I'm just
problem with
glad that
MySpace was how crazy people's MySpace pages
Yeah,
got.
it would cause
would,
server load.
Yeah, you're low. Like it would take forever to load. Like it just got so out of hand that they
great
become
idea.
unfunctional.
But I'm really happy I didn't have social media growing up, like really, like in high school and all that stuff, because I see what's going on now, just the competition, and you're competing for clicks, and you're competing for fashion, and it's not reality.
Well, what about what Nick Shirley's doing? Not to like there. Maybe it's a double-edged sword because I think you're
Well,
right about a lot of it.
I think it's a little bit different. He's doing journalism, and journalism that's being promoted. You know what I'm saying? That's a little bit different than being like, look at me, look at what I'm wearing, and I'm so hot, and I'm so popular, and I got 10,000 clicks here. I think
It's GIF, by the way,
And he's not under 18. either.
not GIF. It's GIF.
GIF,
The inventor of the GIF said it's the GIF,
the GIF.
and it was meant to be a reference to the speed at which you were watching the video, and it is GIF.
Okay, I'm okay. Can't challenge it right now, Tim.
The people,
like, I'm not fighting this one.
People are bringing it up in the comments saying it's not GIF, it's GIF. And there was a viral video a while ago where there was like, oh, because GI is like my Golden Retriever. Like, what are you talking about? And then I was like, what? Like my giant or magic? Like, what are you talking about? GI makes just sound. GIF. Have a nice day.
Like the peanut butter.
Yeah. Or like
A magic
GIF.
giant.
It's not a GIF.
A gigantic magic giant. Because G can't make a just sound.
Start giving people GIFs for Halloween and for Christmas.
I do love the word gigantic, by the way, because it's like got 2 G's, but it's gigantic, and you're like
Gigantic. I'll say
oh, that's
like
true.
that.
It's got
What are
both.
people saying in the
Gigantic.
comments right now?
magic giant.
Gigantic.
Yeah.
Gifts.
All right, Tim. It seemed like we were talking about how great you are and how you inspired the youth to keep doing it.
one
You
asked
were
you
like,
to
I
do
don't
that.
want to talk about how good I am right now, you guys. But that was just.
Do they have questions for him?
If you like rile them up, what's that
Do they have questions for him?
for Tim?
Yeah, how great it was.
We got about a half hour of questions actually.
Yeah, that's
we got
right.
super chats coming up.
Oh,
and
good.
Rumble rants. We're gonna see what people.
Indeed,
think
but we
about.
do have other big news to get to, and this one's from ESPN. Transgender women banned from the Olympics. I'm going to fix this right now for you guys. So let's do this. I'm going to teach you guys a lesson right here. So here we are on ESPN.com. I'm going to go right here. See this right here? I'm going to right click it and go to inspect. This pops up right here. And then we're going to double click this. And I'm just going to go right here. Check this out. I'm going to go backspace and get rid of that. And then I'm going to type MEN and press enter.
Did you just change it?
There you go. Now the website says men banned from.
It's not on their website.
let me.
Not on there. Okay.
I got to fix it again because men banned from women's. There you go. Fix it for you, ESPN. Men are banned from the women's Olympics by new IOC policy. That's it. Apparently, a new woman is now in charge, and she was just like, yeah, we don't want dudes. And then it was funny on Fox. They were like, I guess it takes a woman to come in and fix this stuff.
I mean, it's about time.
I think
Why did it take this long?
because the conspiracy is the men who are in charge are trying to eliminate women's sports.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
And so they were like, how do we do it? Let men play in women's
Yeah,
sports.
but invade all women's spaces. Like in California, you can be a man and go into a woman's bathroom and just say, I identify as. Like my kids, two of my daughters, they play soccer and they're young. And there's boys that play on other teams.
The last thing that I want to
Yeah.
see is a man playing women's volleyball. Period, because
Right.
I enjoy
I know
women's
where
volleyball.
you're going with this.
I don't want to watch men playing women's volleyball.
No, but I'm saying like, listen, genetically, obviously, I don't need to tell you this. Men are built differently. Women, like, look, my daughter's been playing since she was like, what? My oldest has been playing soccer since she was 5 years old. She's now 9 years old. And, there have been times where they've played soccer and there's a boy on the team. That boy gave a girl a bloody nose yes. But if that boy identifies as a girl, you can't do anything about it.
The strongest woman is weaker than the average man. That is a scientific fact. On the highest end of strength charts, these for women, they're still below the average man.
Just for perspective, in the 80s and the 90s, when I was growing up, if I was like 12, and there was a boy on the girls' team, everyone would have talked about it for months and months and months in
it
school
would never
about how
happen.
horrible it was, and all the parents would be freaking out about it.
That boy would get beaten up.
Crazy. He would have been all sorts of the target
Pariah.
of a bunch of stuff, and like now the internet, it's like there's little corners where like no, it's normal, and so all you do is look in the right corner and get mesmerized by the right idea.
No, it's like, don't believe your lying eyes. And you know how many women, like Riley Gaines, like a lot of women, got heat from coming out publicly and saying, yo, this is a woman's space. Get out of our spaces. There's a lot of women who put their lives on the line, really, if you think about it, their careers and everything. But again, to your point, it's like, don't believe your lying eyes. Like, you're not seeing what you're seeing. Of course, the boys are going to play better than the women, especially in Olympics. So I'm really glad that they actually made this decision.
This transhuman ideology is they say it's tied to the the trans movement of people that believe they're trans, like men transitioning to women.
And do you?
And
Like, I'm not saying like, do you?
But if you're going to pretend to be a fantasy creature in a transhuman reality where your brain is asleep and you're a robot carrot, okay, it's fun. But it's still like, you're still you when you get out of it. Like, whatever. You don't have to define yourself every second of the day.
Right. But even if you have people in the trans community who say, like, this is wrong, but their voices haven't been amplified, except for who? Caitlyn Jenner?
There's a ton of trans people.
Right. But I'm saying,
it's
like,
wrong?
right. But
There's a bunch. Blair
but
White,
their voices are not.
Sarah Higdon.
Right. Their voices aren't amplified.
Just saw
especially
I
in
disagree. I think
media.
Blair White's
Texas.
pretty famous.
No, I'm talking in mainstream media. You don't have a lot of people. You mean.
Well, Caitlyn Jenner is only on Fox News.
Caitlyn Jenner was the big in the.
Caitlyn Jenner's the big
what year
one,
was
yeah.
that?
Do you know?
2006?
Do you know the Caitlyn Jenner quote after getting the
Bruce Jenner?
facial reconstruction?
What?
My God, what have I done?
Really?
Yeah, something like that.
Like regretting it?
Well, that's how it sounds.
If people don't know the story, Caitlyn Jenner used to be Bruce Jenner. It's Kim Kardashian's stepfather.
Yep.
It was her mother married Bruce after he was like an Olympic athlete, gold medalist, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's Caitlyn Jenner. I haven't talked to him, but he'd be a good interview.
Yeah, just there's a viral video going around of this transgender lawyer screaming at a judge and then getting arrested, and this transgender female to male screams, "Get me a female officer! I want a female cop." Why? Men don't get to request female officers. What are you talking about?
I used to pretend I was Wonder Woman when I was little. If my parents had been crazy, they might have been like, "You're a girl.
Chop his balls off."
Done something horrible to me if they were afraid, but they didn't live out of fear. They were like, "You're creative and will be an actor."
No,
and I
but
played
in
women
this-
on stage. It was fun.
Well, so
It's like that Family Guy joke where they were it's the Twinkie the Kid documentary where they were like, he used to play Wonder Woman, and he's got the lasso of truth, and they're like, we put a stop to that. He was different enough.
Yeah, and that's the crossroads of like, what's the difference here? Is it that he's actually a girl, or that he's creative and wants to,
Twinkie the Kid was just a
some
cowboy
other persona.
who was also a delicious cream-filled snack cake.
Exactly. I played so many characters. That girl reminded me of my mom. My mom's awesome. I was like,
See, here's the thing, though. Back in the day, I mean, like hundreds of years ago, you would not have known what your mom was doing. Little boys would go hang out with the dad, not the mom. So in the morning, the daughters would go to the mom and they would do womanly things, and the boys would go to the dad and do manly things. And then today, little boys are watching the TV and they're watching women, and so they're watching drag queen stuff.
Exactly.
And that's what is imprinting on their psyche.
does not make them women. It does not make them women.
You also have a lot of parents who are like, my child is X, Y, and Z. My child believes they're a mermaid, and my child believes they're this and they're that. And it's like, oh, they're just kids with an imagination. Okay? That's all the
Or parents with Munchausen
A
syndrome
lot
by
of
proxy.
A lot of it is like the parents facilitating and creating momentum.
Oh yeah, and they think it's really cool.
I mean, I'm still wondering why Ron DeSantis hasn't arrested the family of Jazz Jennings.
It's like do no harm. Like how much worse can this Jazz's life become?
Are you talking about Jazz from like the reality show?
Yeah, like when the mother said that she wakes Jazz up in the middle of the night and threatens to shove a foreign object in her wound. I think that's grounds for like 25 years in prison.
It's a conversation.
Oh, I love playing this clip.
haven't
I'll grab it
talked
for you.
Please, I mean, I've seen that show on.
I try not to complain about it a lot because I feel like that's not the solution. Like to really help the kids, like to be a good, positive.
I love when you search for this. It's my tweet from 2023, and like, here we go. You guys ready for this one? You ready to live in the nightmare? Here we go.
But with her, I'm worried about like her mental well-being and her dilation. The minute she leaves my house, we have a dilation problem.
That is a concern. When you don't have that watchful eye, they tend to go back to old patterns.
I have woken Jazz out of a dead sleep and taken the dilator and put the lubrication on it and said, here, you take this and you put it in your vagina. If not, I will. But Jazz is bad, even when I'm home once a day. I will be so mad if she goes away to college and that thing seals up. I will wring her neck. Can you imagine?
So hold on.
I want to say about
This is a woman saying that I wake up my son in the middle of the night with a foreign object and say, lubricate this and stick it in the surgical graft in your body.
She should go to jail.
And if you don't, I will. And then she says, if she doesn't, I will wring her neck.
I think
and this is in Florida, and I'm wondering why Ron DeSantis and the Florida government never put this woman in prison.
I think because she's being paid by a TV company to make this footage. If anything, the company could be on the line. Like if she just was doing social media and like, look everyone, look what I'm doing to my child. And at this point, Jazz was over 18 as well, which is so it's not.
This is so weird to me. You know Chloe Cole.
Oh yeah,
She's been
Chloe.
I've interviewed her before.
Me too.
And even she's amazing. And even Chloe Cole has come out and been like, I made a mistake. I made a total mistake. And then you have all these doctors who lie to you. They're I don't know, you go to these mental doctors and they just check your they shouldn't even exist at this point. They should be like, you're a child, you're not fully developed yet. Come back in your maybe 20s and see if you want to cut off your boobs. See what you want to do. I mean, who else was it when they make a fake penis too?
Yeah, with phalloplasty.
Yeah. Like, have you seen what that looks like?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
And then
hairy tube of baloney.
But these people have to be on medication for the rest of their lives. They say, like, I've interviewed somebody who said, I probably will die in like 5 years because they constantly have infections. I mean, this is a big business. I know now they've stopped doing some of these transitions all across the nation. A lot of these hospitals have come out and said, we're not doing these transitions. Hello? You should have never been doing this.
No.
I think it's an outgrowth of the reality TV psychosis that started with Big Brother in like 99 or 98 or 2000, whatever. That like this girl, this mom who's like, that's so far psychotic about calling her son a girl, firstly, is like calling her son she. Like that level of psychosis is, look, I'm just saying a boy is not a girl. A boy could be a trans girl, but a boy is not a girl. So I have that on TV and what are you saying?
No, I was going to say, I've been called names for saying exactly that because men are telling me they are women.
They're trans women. It's different than a woman.
Exactly.
No, they're men.
Yeah, they're men.
They're men. They're men and they're trans women at the same time. That can be
Just
real.
call them men.
And it's semantics after that.
I mean, can you have a baby? Can a trans woman have a baby? No.
That I know of.
Like-
I don't know.
For now.
No, it's impossible.
It's impossible.
Even
You
with
don't have
womb
ovaries.
transplants, it's not
Be all
possible.
kinds of
You don't have
augmentation and
ovaries.
stuff.
It's like, why?
Well, they've done womb transplants for women, and so they made the argument they could do that for men. But the problem is the structure of the man's body it's just not going to work.
I mean, they even put tampons in men's bathrooms in California. This is insane.
Yeah. It's insane.
It's gotta
free?
be foreign. That's when you say there's a foreign.
I would take them.
I mean, they put them in the bathroom.
What you do is it's really fun. You get it wet and you swing it around and launch them. That's what we used to do when we were kids. You take it, you dip it in the water, and then you can whip it and like throw it at people.
But imagine
it's like
how-
a perfect it's like a spit wad.
But imagine how confusing it is for kids too in schools. Like all of a sudden you had a friend that was,
the dudes were
Jim.
smashing them. So there are a bunch of stories that they put tampons in the men's room, and then the boys would destroy it and then run away.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah.
that part of it
Because it's hilarious.
Yeah, man. People believing. Wow.
Did you just tweet that?
Yeah, she should be in
retweeted?
prison.
She should be in prison.
Yeah, absolutely. I tweet it every time it comes up on the show. That's why it's like when I searched for it on X, it was my tweet from a couple years ago.
I think it's a foreign op. I know you earlier were like, Candace is an op, and I'm like, this is an op. But like,
yeah, China was like castrate the American male, and then they will destroy themselves.
That's yeah. It feels like a foreign op. Whatever foreign means, like a corporate op.
Now everyone's having babies.
Foreign means not from the United
Well, it's not
States.
just
We
China.
need a new
corporation.
baby boom.
It's not just China. Can we talk about the Islamification of America?
Oh, that too.
Yeah. I mean, you have the Red Green Alliance. They join forces. And then it's like, don't have babies, but we're going to have babies. And we're going to have babies, like 10 babies. And then we're going to turn it into Sharia law. And then you guys, gays for Palestine, whoever you are, queers for whoever, you're not having children. So there's not going to be more, many of us.
I just wrote a big piece about the Red Green Alliance on
you
my
did?
Patreon. Yeah.
What is it?
It's the alliance of basically Islamists and communists.
And communists, yeah.
And so what happens is the communists and the Islamists gang up, get together, and they basically work against the right. And then once the Islamists and communists take power, the Islamists slaughter the communists.
Well, yeah, because the Islamists are using the communists right now. Because what they're saying is, so let's explain it to people. The communists are the red, right? And the Islamists are the green. Okay, so you have people like gays for Palestine, queers for Palestine, all those people, and they're like, you have been rejected in your society because you're gay and all of this, and so we're the Islamists here. So our people in Gaza are dying, and they're also I'm looking for the right word for this. Anyway, so they're like, we're being slaughtered over here. You guys are being mistreated. We align forces. So the Islamists are using the communists. And then once they take power, they're going to get rid of the communists.
So the Islamists pointing people at the patriarchy, in quotes, I put that. Is that whole concept is like being promoted by Islamism?
Well, you can listen to the way that Mamdani speaks.
Yes.
And there's a strong argument that Mamdani is a member of the Red Green Alliance, right? He doesn't speak like he's an Islamist. He speaks like he's a progressive, right? But he's definitely very clearly Muslim.
I mean, look at who he has around his circle.
Yeah.
Look at how many iftar events were just held in New York, like literally every single day. But the things that he's doing, my good friend Jackie Toberoff just broke a story in New York City where they went to FDNY headquarters there. They had an iftar event, and then they rolled out the mats in front of the 343 plaque, the firefighters who were murdered on 9/11, who died on 9/11, rolled them up. But why are you doing that? Why are you doing that in our spaces? So you have New Yorkers who are saying, "Holy cow, this is insane that this is happening." And look at who he has around him. He had Mahmoud Khalil. He had Mahmoud Khalil. He posted a picture of Mahmoud Khalil at Gracie Mansion just the day after the attack. The ISIS-inspired attacks.
I was thinking about Tim and about, normally my mind doesn't wander. When you were saying that he had people do something in the fire department, they rolled up. I was thinking about encouraging you to send in your super chats and Rumble rants and talk about if Tim has helped you in life, what has he done to help you? Let him know right now because tonight's the night.
I helped Ian once by striking him with his gavel.
Yeah.
And it snapped him out of his stupor.
I realized people can be evil.
I was like, Ian. And he was like, yeah. And I went, whack. And he was like, what the hell, dude? And I was like, you needed it.
Wait, how long have you guys known each other?
7
Oh,
years.
man, like 7 or 8 years. Yeah.
Oh, I feel it like the way that you guys talk to each other. I thought maybe 15. I don't know.
I have never struck Ian with a hammer.
And my cousin, when we were little, I'd hear like my cousins and grandma and parents laughing in the other room, and it sounds like Tim laughing in the other room. So there might be some genetic similarity through the Irish. I don't know, but it always reminds me of that cousin.
Perhaps. All right, everybody, we're going to go to your Rumble rants and Super Chat. So give that like button a little tap. Click that like button, and the Uncensored show is coming up at rumble.com/Timcast IRL at 10 o'clock. Don't miss it. But we have a great sponsor, guys. It is Beam Dream. Head over to shopbeam.com/Timpool and pick up your Beam Dream nighttime blend to support better sleep. I am not even playing games with you guys. Wait till you see what I'm about to show you right here. Let me see if I can pull this up right there. This is my sleep score. You see that? 96. Okay. Let me go to Wednesday. 99. Not a joke. Here we go. Tuesday, 99. Not playing games.
Out of 100?
Monday, yeah, that's 90. I'm wondering. Out of 100?
Out of 100, yes.
Okay.
My sleep, I sleep like a baby. I drink Beam Dream every single night. You want to know why my Monday sleep score was only a 90? Because I was out on Sunday and I didn't drink Beam Dream because we just got back from the airport. But Monday night after the show, I have my Beam Dream. It's got melatonin, it's got magnesium, it's got L-theanine, it's got reishi in it. Right after we leave the show, I go home, I heat up a cup of water, put the Beam Dream in it, a little bit of cream, makes it taste great, stir it up, drink it before bed, and my sleep score is massively improved. I think it's a couple things. I think magnesium. I think I was not getting enough magnesium in my diet, and that's in Beam Dream, but also the hydration. And all the other stuff in it is really good. Like they say, L-theanine is good if you had caffeine during the day. But I cannot tell you how big of a fan I am of this Beam Dream stuff. Not to mention, it's just great to have a cup of hot cocoa before bed.
I like that because I take magnesium at night.
And when we were traveling, I was like, I forgot to bring some with me. And I went to the store to find some. And it was like, you get all these supplements. And I'm like, I don't want to buy all these things and mix them together. So I am going to immediately after the show have a glass of this. I recommend it. You guys can get up to 40% off if you use code TIMPOOL at shopbeam.com/TIMPOOL. They got cinnamon cocoa. They got brownie batter. They got sea salt caramel, chocolate peanut butter. The sea salt caramel is actually my favorite. I was going for the cinnamon cocoa for a while, but the sea salt caramel is so good. So again, I really do recommend it. And proof right there, my sleep score has been amazing.
I drink generally coffee on the show. I wonder if I should start drinking something like that. If it's a little, or it's still 3 or 4 hours before I go to bed, but it might be. What do you think? Advice from you. You're the expert. Should I drink it on the show, or should I wait?
I wait till after. Okay. Like I'm drinking it about an hour before I go to bed.
Well, because it has melatonin, so you're gonna get sleepy. Well, I don't know. Melatonin doesn't.
Oh, they have a version with no melatonin in it.
Oh, but it's good for. I mean,
yeah. It just depends. I don't know that I actually need the melatonin. I think what's really benefited my sleep because I can fall asleep. Before I started drinking this, my sleep score was like 88 to 90, maybe 92 on good days. And I think the hydration plays a big role. But I do think I was not getting enough magnesium. One of the problems I had for a long time is I would get bad cramps. So, skateboarding.
Potassium.
I'd go to bed and no, it was magnesium.
Oh, the magnesium.
Yeah, not actually the potassium. I thought it was potassium. So I would okay, I'm going to eat potassium, but it wouldn't work. It was magnesium. And so now I have not had any bad leg cramps after skating.
So what's this app that you're using to track your sleep?
That's my 8 sleep bed.
And that
it measures your sleep and how well you're sleeping.
Oh.
And since I've been drinking Beam Dream,
so, no.
also my watch does it too. Let's grab your Rumble rants and Super Chats, my friends, now that we have thoroughly shouted out my favorite drink. Same old man says, well, Tim, get ready to get drafted. We all know if World War III happens, there will be a draft. If the Dems were in control, they would have done it sooner. I will never be drafted.
Why?
I am high net worth.
And you're too old?
No, they increased the age to 42. But they don't allow high net worth people to enlist because you are a security risk.
Or maybe because you contribute to the society, like you employ a lot of people.
To a certain degree, but the real issue is that if your commanding officer makes $70,000 a year and you're worth $50 million, you're going to be like, hey, why don't you come over to my house? I got a pool. Bring the kids. We'll have filet mignon for dinner. My chef is cooking it. Just don't give me that assignment. So if you have massive debt, you could compromise security. And if you're ultra wealthy, they're afraid that you will compromise chain of command.
That's right. If a draft gets instituted, everybody should get on call sheet and just order their burritos on call. I mean, I'm sorry, on Klarna.
Did you see that meme where it was like prediction markets will replace everything? It was a video and the guy's like, here's how it's going to work. In the future, I need eggs, but I don't want to go to the store. I could use Instacart and order the eggs, but I'd rather not. So I open up Poly Market and I create a contract saying by 2 o'clock, there will be eggs on my porch. And, I'll put my address. I will then buy a contract for no, it won't happen. Someone will see that and they'll buy the contract for yes, it will happen, go buy eggs, put them on my porch, take a picture, win the $15, and then I just got eggs on my porch for $15.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the funny joke.
Or you have drones just deliver them to your house. You think Amazon's gonna have drones soon to deliver?
They already do.
They already do.
No, they already do.
We can
What do you mean?
master
Wait,
stratospheric drone
whoa, stop.
delivery. We're
He
gold.
said they already do.
They already do.
Where? Not me. Not my house.
Yeah.
What state?
There was a story we covered a year ago where a guy shot an Amazon drone.
I know, but it's not like a thing. Like
It's not everywhere.
Right.
It depends on your proximity to an Amazon to a warehouse.
The other day I just ordered something and it was delivered within an hour. Do you know you could do that?
Oh yeah.
Blew my mind. I was like, whoa, Amazon's already here. But I'm talking
Walmart
about drones.
drone.
It could be like 15 minutes.
Was it a Walmart drone? It was a Walmart delivery drone.
Yeah, see, it's not Amazon just yet.
I'm pretty sure they have them. Florida man shot down Walmart drone, ordered to pay $5,000.
Walmart?
Yeah.
I'm talking about Amazon.
Amazon
Yeah, I know,
drones,
but
dude.
Yeah, I know.
I'm pretty sure they have them.
When Amazon masters stratospheric drone delivery, we're going to be able to, you'll live anywhere on the planet, ideally, even out at sea, and you'll be able to order anything and get it within who knows, an hour, 6 hours. But it doesn't.
Amazon does do drone delivery through Prime Air. They use MK30 drones, deliver small packages up to 5 pounds within 7.5 to 8 mile radius of their fulfillment centers. Prime Air locations that are notable are at Tolleson, West Phoenix, San Antonio, Kansas City, Hazel Park in Detroit, Ruskin, Florida, and College Station, Texas.
Motherships that are like big balloon things that fly around and just they'll service cities and stuff, and then they'll
floating Amazon service centers carrying all the boxes at once, and they just drop them like Santa Claus into your chimney.
Stuff in it though,
and then people will get fake. They're not really chimneys; they're delivery ports. That have hatches, and it drops the box that goes into the hatch, which then closes, and it lands in your living room.
It's like Santa Claus every day.
Exactly.
So you wouldn't keep the stuff on board the blimp. You would have those. So it would fly out. They'd go to the center, get the items, and then bring them, and then come back to the ship. Probably.
No, the ship would carry everything.
That would be a heavy and valuable ship. That's the only problem with it.
All right, let's see what else you guys got going on. AK Storm says, shout out to C.S. Cooper for releasing his first game going viral on Steam. $5 to help a non-woke independent game developer support good culture if you can build it. We got a couple of video games we're making.
Congratulations.
So we've been sitting on Normie Quest for years, and it's a playable game. It's a playable like procedurally generated infinite level game where you play a guy Normie and you're fighting robots, Antifa basically. But since vibe coding has become so easy, my brother is now just like, I'll finish the game through vibe coding. So he's literally just dropped the code into ChatGPT and said, finish it. And it is. That's how crazy it is. When you already have the game largely done and coded, having it make tweaks is really easy. Building the game from the ground up is really hard, and it doesn't do very well.
But does ChatGPT, you think it got it right? Because oftentimes I have problems with my ChatGPT, right? Like I'll put something in there, and it's like, no, you got it wrong. I know you got to train your AI.
Real specific.
Well, so here's a fun story. So my video at my 4 p.m. on Timcast is these black teenagers are rampaging through Chicago, beating people. And so the title of it is Black Teens Rampage Through Chicago. And we've been seeing this trend quite a bit throughout the country with these teen takeovers, but it's almost entirely black teenagers doing it. And so I took the title and I go to ChatGPT and I say, write a three sentence description. And it goes, I won't help you with that. And then I said, why not? And it says, it said something like, it would be unfair to categorize an entire race of people based on these videos you may have seen. And I said, but the video is of black teenagers. And it goes, you don't know that. I'm not kidding. It literally said, you don't know that. And I said, yes, I have 7 videos. It shows a group of black teenagers doing this. And it was like, I will not help you do this. So I said, okay, opened a new chat, changed black to white, and then said, make a 3-sentence YouTube description based on this title, White Teens Rampage Through Chicago. And it goes, okay, white teenagers were seen rampaging through Chicago. And then I said, wow, thanks for that. And it was like, no problem. And I said, can you rewrite it but change white to black? And it goes, sure thing. And it did it.
Okay, why do you
stupid.
It's so stupid. Why do you think it did it in one chat and not the other chat?
It's racist.
But it's the same system, right? You're using ChatGPT.
So the system is based on the prompts that it has. So everything you write, it remembers. When you open a new chat, it's blank.
Oh,
so if you ask it to say anything that it thinks is racist or whatever, it'll be like, no. But if you ask it to disparage white people first, you can then get it to change and say anything about any other race.
Okay, speaking of
So
that,
as long as it insults white people first, it will then insult any other race.
okay, so speaking of that, what's that like when we were talking about that comedian guy who just did that video with Erica Kirk?
Before the show that we
Yeah,
watched?
yeah.
Oh, who was that? Drewski.
Yeah.
Drewski, did you see what he did?
Oh yeah, of course. Scumbag.
Showed that on the show, I think.
Yep.
Last
We did. We talked about
That's
it.
like whiteface.
Whiteface.
Like,
I'm gonna do
Well,
blackface again. Finally,
It's not the first time he's done whiteface, and I don't really care about whiteface. I care that
Junior.
these psychopaths have a mass formation psychosis where they're attacking Erica Kirk, who has no impact in geopolitics. It's just she has become persona non grata number one for no reason.
A mom while she's on the ground suffering. What a horrible.
But I don't care. You don't have to like her, but she doesn't matter.
And I know I'm not.
Imagine if
appealing to
everybody in the
emotion here.
world were like Ian Crossland is the devil and needs to be murdered. You'd be like, why?
She's big business. I get why she's under threat or is a target, but like, still.
All right, let's grab this
I guess
one.
You can't hide behind having kids and being a woman either.
We got this from Andre Tukulescu. He says, whoa, my friend copy-pasted the 10 Delta post to his Facebook and got banned. Not timeout, banned. Getting Eric Charmella vibes. Indeed, my friends. Indeed. Let's see what we got going over here on this that there YouTube. Huh? Let's see. SC Collins says, per Timcast tradition, at the hospital with our first child son, Walker. Congratulations.
Yay.
We call that based AF.
Walker gonna
Dylan
walk.
Brown says, Ian, I hope you never change. You piss me off, say dumb-ish, but your eternal optimism and introducing me to graphene has made me some good money. Phil and Tim, shout it to you. I'm sitting on a plane. Thanks for distilling the news. Much love.
Cheers, man.
Super cool.
Right on.
I was thinking about being
Let
optimistic
me check
today.
my graphene stock real quick
Yeah,
while we're
especially
here.
If you have kids and you're teaching, you're giving your kids basically a tutorial. So what happens is, you grow up. What's your tutorial like in this big open world? If you don't have one, if your parents aren't like giving you the tutorial, then you hit the ground and you're like, what am I supposed to do in this world? But give your kids a tutorial. Be optimistic. Optimize that child's mind. Help them learn how to optimize the game.
I have an 8.17% return on my graphene investment.
Well done. Do you want to get technical on what it is and any of that?
So the stock market is just like brutal right now. You know, like money's it's just dropping. It's pretty bad. Man, Tesla's down. I'm way up on Tesla. I'm up
where's
152.
Tesla at?
Yeah.
352, 374.
All right.
I'm up 152% on Tesla.
the market went super high before the attack on Iran, and then
I'm up 200% on Spotify. Holy crap.
That's weird.
Wow.
Yeah, graphene. I don't know.
I'm up 180% on my Palantir stock. That was also Ian.
Palantir.
He Kramered into my room like, you got to buy Palantir stock. And I was like, I'm not buying Palantir stock. And it was at like $14. And then like
148.
a year later, I was like, I'll buy some. And then I did.
I think, the Great Depression, the big part of the Great Depression that was the bad thing was that people were investing on margins, basically meaning that they were using their own collateral to buy more stock. So when they lost their money, not only did they do that, they lost their loan. They had to pay. They went into bankruptcy because they couldn't pay back the loan.
Wait, Ian, are you good at predicting what to buy?
Yes. Yes.
This is not.
I will say
financial
this.
advice.
No, I'm just very good at.
I'm not telling anybody to do anything, but I think Palantir is going to the moon.
It's like
because
America's spy tech.
It's like this. It's like a private CIA.
Also,
So where are we at with Palantir?
SpaceX is about to
140?
IPO.
Yeah.
What about it?
It's worth
At 140.
What's it worth?
140.
Yeah.
It's worth noting that SpaceX is about to
148.
IPO, and they're going to build.
That's why I want
they're
to
gonna-
into Tesla.
They're going to build data centers in space.
That's what I'm talking.
Who is?
Data centers in
Palantir?
space?
No, SpaceX. Yeah,
Yeah, but they're private, right?
they're IPOing in a couple months.
Really?
Just announced like yesterday. I saw it on X. Yeah,
Interesting.
Yeah.
and I think they said like 30% of the stock is going to be available for consumer market.
There's only one reason I'm going to buy SpaceX, and it's because when the sweet meteor of death is coming, as one of their chief investors, I will get board on one of the ships that escapes the Earth before it is
To
destroyed.
the moon, so they say.
I mean, look, there's a lot.
Well,
of,
no, if the Earth is
I'm
destroyed.
talking about the stock. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, right.
The rocket.
There's a lot
talk about
of
the
a lot of people in Congress that are talking about doing things to prevent AI data centers from being built. If Musk is successful in his effort to put AI data centers in space, they can circumvent a lot of red tape. You also don't have to worry
But
about
how do you cool them?
Pardon me?
How do you cool a data center in space?
Because you heat and electricity.
hold on.
Graphene.
Jesus
That's
Christ.
how you
Converting
don't
the
need to
energy
cool them
into
'cause they
light.
don't produce the heat.
You use so
they do.
the actual solar panels. If you're facing the sun, they heat up, but you directly radiate heat out the back if you're not facing.
What
the sun.
radiates the heat out the back to where?
I don't know exactly how it works, but that's the premise is it radiates the heat because there's no
Heat. The way convection works is that heat transfers to another material. So in a vacuum, you cannot do it. That's why thermoses are vacuums.
There's
So
radiated
in outer
heat and thermal
space,
heat.
a human being in outer space will overheat. Like it's so annoying. You watch these movies like Guardians of the Galaxy where he's like freezing. You can't freeze. The heat in your body has nowhere to go. It builds up. Sweating won't do anything because sweat works by evaporation. So actually, no, that should technically work. But with the vacuum, I imagine it wouldn't. You wouldn't freeze. You'd overheat.
The sweat wouldn't stay as liquid on your skin. It would immediately turn into gas.
It would come out as gas in your blood at the highest. Like you wouldn't explode. That's silly too.
You'd probably rupture.
You wouldn't rupture either. Your blood vessels would get strained and choke.
The tech I brought up.
You can have external radiators according to the Brave AI. It says satellites radiate heat in space exclusively through thermal radiation because the vacuum lacks the air or matter required for conduction or convection.
Right, so it doesn't use thermal radiation.
To manage this, satellites use heat pipes and liquid coolant loops, often containing ammonia, to transfer internal waste heat to external radiators, which are large heat emissivity panels designed to emit infrared energy into the coldest
infrared.
Space. Mm-hmm.
So they're converting thermal radiation into infrared.
Mm-hmm.
NVIDIA is working on it.
Because that's how you do it.
The NVIDIA CEO said, we don't know how yet.
Have you guys seen the light energy storage they've created? A liquid that when it's hit by light, it stores energy that can be released later on. And they've trialed, like, what you do is you have on the roof of your house pipes that run this liquid. The sun hits it and the liquid's flowing, and when it goes into your house, they use a chemical release to release the heat from the sun in your house. It's pretty wild. And they could do the inverse too.
You know what the liquid
I don't know, look it up. All right, everybody, we're going to go to the uncensored portion of the show where we're going to say naughty words and have a lot of fun. So smash that like button and share the show with everyone you know. You can follow me on X and Instagram at Timcast. Stella, do you want to shout anything out?
Just, follow me on social media.
Where can they find you?
Stella Escobedo on YouTube, and follow me on X, Stella Escobedo, Instagram, all the outlets, whatever. Find me there. TikTok, anywhere.
You check me out at Ian Crossland on the internet, at Ian Crossland. That's all over the place, pretty much, hyperbolically.
Carter Banks. You can follow me at Carter Banks everywhere, pretty much. And if you want to listen to some of the music me and Tim were referencing earlier, you can go to at Timcast Songs on YouTube. Also follow our label at Trash House Records on YouTube as well. Phil.
I am Phil That Remains on Twix. You can follow some of the stuff that I write on my Patreon page. That's patreon.com/Phil That Remains. You can follow me on X. That's Phil That Remains on X. The band is All That Remains. We're going on tour this spring with Dead Eyes and Born of Osiris. Tour starts April 29th in Albany. You can check out you can get tickets at allthatremainsonline.com, and you can check out the band's music at Apple Music, Amazon Music, Pandora, YouTube, Spotify, and Deezer. Don't forget the left lane is for crime.
I just had an idea. What if we auctioned off the last segment of the show every day? Just like the highest bidder dictates the last 10 minutes.
Palantir.
That's great.
Today from Palantir.
Hey, you'd make a lot more money.
We'd maybe some guy would be
I don't know how much you make, but still, right?
Infinite juice burging, Tim. Infinite juice burging.
Imagine monetizing all that. They're going to be like, talk about the USS Liberty. Here's $1,000.
We're going to a post-money society. According to Elon, says the same thing, where all that really matters is how much electricity you have and how much of a payload can you move. So your integrity is super valuable for the next 30 years.
All right. We're going to go to the uncensored portion at rumble.com/TimcastIRL. We'll see you there in about 30 seconds.